Hey, welcome. It is really good to have you here today. We got a great show for you. I mean, some really good conversation set up to go today. Michael Zagaris, who is the preeminent Bay Area sports photographer. We don't do a lot of hawking when someone puts books out. Like, we get books sent to us all the time, and I say, we're not doing that interview. I'm sorry, it's not good radio. Zagaris is an absolute personality. He has seen and shot more football and probably forgotten about it than most of us will ever see. And the book is absolutely magnificent. It really, really is. I know, Ray, you got a copy of it, too. He's going to join us in about a half an hour from now to talk about it. And it is, with the holidays coming up, it's for a Bay Area sports fan, it's an awesome stocking stuffer.
It's not a stocking stuffer. It's a coffee table breaker. It's massive.
It would not fit in a stocking. You're right about that. And it's probably just a price point above a stocking stuffer. But it's really... do this.
It's magnificent. I don't pitch much because, meh.
It's magnificent.
No, if you paid attention to sports from 1970 on, this is your history.
Samson Ebukam. Joining us today, I'm looking forward to his appearance. We talked to him last year, but we didn't really know anything about him because he was kind of a new Niner, and we talked to him earlier in the year. We're getting to know him, and we know how important he is, so we are going to absolutely get into this game this coming up weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. It is not an easy task that is in front of the 49ers defense, so I'm glad we're on the defensive side of the ball today as we go inside the 49ers locker room, and we're going inside the Warriors locker room to say hello to the Grand Poobah himself. Steve Kerr is going to join us at 4:45 today, and we're really looking forward to that conversation. Ray, if ring night for the Warriors was, an appetizer, a first course, last night in the NBA, we got the main entree, the segundi, if you're eating, a little Italian. I was having a great night on my couch. Great night on my couch. The kids were in bed. Dinner was fantastic. My wife is completely in her cell phone, so she's not trying to talk about what should be on TV or what else is on TV. I am just in my flippin' trigger-happy, watching 3 NBA games at once mode, and a transformer goes out in my neighborhood. The entire house, pitch black. The entire neighborhood, pitch black. Like, I haven't seen that much pitch black because usually you get like the ambient lights from the street or something. The whole thing was just darkness, and I missed the Kings opener. I watched about a half. I didn't miss much there. I missed the gosh darn Damian Lee moment for the Phoenix Suns. I missed the Nets getting blown out at home by the Pelicans. I did get Grizzlies and Knicks in overtime. At least I got that, but damn it, I was having a great night, and then the power goes out.
That's just God's way of saying you're not getting any free ones.
No.
Period.
You think the sun would shine on me every now and then. I got a night where I got the clicker to myself on the couch, nobody's bothering me, and then poof, all gone. And of course, when that happens, your wireless goes down. So now
you're done.
Yeah. So it was an early bedtime.
So you spent a lot of time looking for flashlights.
We had, God bless my wife, she is at the ready for most major panic moments. We had candles out instantly, flashlights ready to go. Trying to explain to the 3-year-old why I can't take a flashlight to bed. That's about a half an hour. And that was my night last night. In bed by 9:30 for the first time since I was maybe 7 years old. I mean, what the hell were we going to do? We're going to stay up and talk to each other? I don't think so.
Oh, jeez. What are you thinking?
I don't think so. Anyways, a great show for you today. Great conversations. It's a Thinking Man's Thursday. We're going to be thinking a little bit later on, and you have all been warned. Hello to all the kids watching on YouTube. You see Steve saying, what, no free shirt today? No, not a free shirt. This was actually a purchased shirt, but I do wear it often. Ray, always the bright spot on the show. That is indeed his role. Marcus, thank you very much. MDK1, he's trying to get back into my good graces. Hello. He says hello. I'm happy. I'm happy that all of it. Damon Bruce needs to dye his beard. No. We go gray gracefully on this program. There will be no primping. There will be no attempts to make whatever this is better.
No earrings on a pig.
No, exactly. What do we? Yeah. Grecian formula, you think that's going to make this acceptable? You think all of a sudden, like Fox or ESPN is going to be like, oh, now that your beard is an old man's pube gray, we're going to have you on? No way.
No, you have a chance with a balaclava. That's about it.
Did you say baklava?
No, balaclava. It's a hooded hat where it basically just covers everything except your eyes and your mouth.
You're looking for the executioner's hood?
Sure. The more you hide, the better you look.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
It's true of me as well. I'm not singling myself out for anything.
Yeah, I knew you weren't far away from that target statement. I knew that. We have some really good stuff to get into today. 2 NBA games coming up tonight. Bucks and Sixers, Clippers and Lakers. Clippers and Lakers should be a rousing Clipper win. Lakers back on national TV. Hopefully that doesn't stick around very, very often.
They are the Chicago Bears of the NFL. You cannot turn the television on without seeing them. Or Denver.
Monday night, by the way. Bears are on your Monday night schedule this week.
I mean, literally, who asks for that?
Can we flex these? Here's the thing. I know games are flexed into prime time. Can we get that game flexed out of prime time? Or is that only the province?
Can we get that game flexed out of the country?
Seriously?
I mean, I'd swap that baby out for a CFL game. Yes. You've seen them. You've seen them more than enough. You would much rather watch the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I can't even argue against it. I can't even come up with anything pithy to come back at you at. I do have this, though, for you, because Patrick Mahomes is coming to town, and I'm just, any times I see a Patrick Mahomes stat come by my timeline, I've been, cutting and pasting it onto the prep show document and whatnot, and here's something that I thought was, you'll love this, Ray. Patrick Mahomes, who's only in his 5th year as a starter in the NFL, he is on pace to pass the career yardage for every single Chicago Bears quarterback that has ever been in their entire franchise history, and it'll probably happen around week 15, 16, 17 this year. So Patrick Mahomes in 5 years is greater than every person that has ever played quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Well, and Tom Brady in just his 40s would be the all-time Bears career passing leader.
Oh, well, no, I mean, let's be honest. The last good quarterback was a great quarterback before they threw the ball. I mean, Sid Luckman retired in 1950.
You're not talking about Peter Tom Willis?
I'm folding him into the reason why that stat is a little deceptive.
I mean, you'd think
they've had no quarterbacks for 72 years.
It's amazing. It truly is. Like you thought, well, how about were those Harbaugh years?
No. The Bears do throwing the ball the way the 49ers do throwing the ball. Only they've done it since the start of the Korean War. That's all you need to know.
And to let you know that nothing's changing quickly, Justin Fields right now currently ranks last in the NFL in completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, passing first downs. And of all quarterbacks that have started 6 games, he is dead last. He's been sacked 23 times. That's the second most in the NFL. He's been pressured on 46% of his dropbacks, and he's got the worst wide receiving group in all football. So, good times.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally a guy with no chance. There's no way of knowing whether he can be a quarterback in this league or not because he's not in this league. He's playing for the Bears.
Yeah, he is definitely not going to get any shake whatsoever that's going to come out in his direction. By the way, quite a debut for the number 1 overall draft pick in the NBA last year, Paolo Banchero. He went LeBron on us. The Orlando Magic last night got 27, 9, and 5 out of him in his NBA debut, making him the first rookie with at least 25, 5, and 5 in his first game since LeBron James in 2003. That alone, I mean, that's really impressive. It really is. The Orlando Magic, by the way, had 3 young players. Banchero, Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner, each scoring 20 points. That's the first time in NBA history that 3 players on one team, 21 years or younger, were able to do that in a season opener, yet still they lose. And And the Detroit Pistons, they got a little youth movement going for them, too. Cade Cunningham, who was the number 1 overall a couple of years ago, he had 18 and 10. Jaden Ivey, who was a top 5 pick this year, he had 19 and 4 assists. Look out! The Detroit Pistons and Orlando Magic might be interesting this year. I didn't get enough of the Kings last night. Should I hop on that bandwagon?
No.
And that's
16 years in a row should tell you that's when you can get on late.
But don't you want to be there when it actually happens? Don't you want to be sitting next to Anthony Slater going up to Golden One Center thinking tonight's the night?
He went up last night. Tonight wasn't the night.
That was not the night.
No, hey, look, you can wait on the Kings. You can probably wait on the Pistons and Magic too. It's just that
I just like to say I was there from the beginning. That's all. That's me.
See, yeah, I don't ever get that. I'm okay with being the last guy to the party as long as the door is still open.
We got ourselves a really good show today. We're going to look back at a fun couple opening nights in the NBA. Steve Kerr, Samson Ebukam, Michael Zagaris coming up. We don't do 3 interviews really in any show, but today is one of those days. So that's what's coming up this afternoon. It is good to have you here. We got open lines, of course, for you and an awful lot to get into. Some fresh piping hot sound from Kyle Shanahan. Steph Curry talked today, and we got some things to get into. So hopefully you plan on sticking around with us. We are brought to you by BMW Fairfield, and we want to let you know that everything we do here on 95.7 The Game, you can find it all on that Odyssey app, and you should download it today, and I'll stop asking you to do it when everyone does it.
Fresh off receiving his 9th NBA championship ring, Steve Kerr joins Damon and Ratto today at 4:45.
I've never had a bad ring night, I can tell you that. They're all awesome.
It's the best interview in the Bay Area.
I'm thrilled with the win. Ring night is never an easy game.
Steve Kerr, today at 4:45. Presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet. Only from Xfinity.
If you're looking to make some easy money on tonight's New Orleans-Arizona game, all you have to do is call 888-9-WIN now. That's 888-994-6669. The guys over at TakingVegas.com have been on fire. We are 10-2 on our weeknight pro football games, and tonight for free on a recorded message. New Orleans, Arizona, 888-9-WIN now. That's 888-994-6669. Also on the recorded hotline, our 5 best bets for the weekend in pro and college football, plus the next 30 days of our service will be free as well. It's all on a recorded message starting with New Orleans, Arizona tonight. 888-9-WIN now is the number to call. That's 888-994-6669. Monday night, we gave you under Denver, LA. Last Thursday, under Washington, Chicago. We have another free pick winner tonight available on the recorded message. Just call 888-9-WIN now.
Every morning at 8:50, the Morning Roast presents the Xfinity Flex of the show. Fonte and Shasky flex with their best moment of the day. Replayed at 8:50.
You'll win it. 4th championship. Steph, Draymond, Clay helped the Warriors win this one alongside Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Moody. Nobody can say anything. You can't take this one away.
The Flex of the show. Presented by Xfinity Flex, the 4K streaming TV box with voice remote and Peacock Premium. Free with Xfinity Internet.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to meal enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Are you interested in new career opportunities in the Bay Area and want to make a difference in your community? The San Francisco Sheriff's Office is looking for people considering a job in law enforcement right now. If you're at least 20 years or older with a high school diploma or equivalent, the San Francisco Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. Enjoy full benefits, flexible schedules, and opportunities for growth and promotion. For employment announcements and more information, visit sfsheriff.com. That's sfsheriff.com to apply today.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The new Google Pixel 7 Pro is super, especially when it's on Verizon, the network America relies on. It's supercharged, super powered, and a super...
deal.
You know it. Now, switch to Verizon and get the Google Pixel 7 Pro on us with select trade-ins and select 5G unlimited plans.
That really is super.
Yep. There's never been a better time to switch to Verizon. $899.99 device payment purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. $200 Verizon e-gift card with ported. Less $700 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions and additional terms apply.
You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Now back to Damon and Ratto on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield. Now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. Visit bmwfairfield.com today to book your visit.
Well, you can go ahead and enjoy the gray tips of my beard or the sweater Ray is wearing this afternoon. If you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, we are certainly streaming there, and you can enjoy this. For whatever reason, it might bring you joy. We would not know. But hello again to our entire YouTube chatting crew. It's a good little group of guys who kind of hang out with each other on the internet all afternoon. I see the same names popping up each and every day. So hello to you all. And
you make that sound creepy.
Well, maybe there are a creepy group of guys, but there are a group, right?
I think it's a pretty good likelihood.
There are a group. They come here to see what you're wearing.
I rest my case.
Damon, what is worse, watching the Lakers or Thursday night football on the Xfinity mobile text line? I mean, that's a great question. And honestly, we get the side-by-side comparison tonight. I mean, we get to run that experiment in real freaking time.
Actually, worse yet, back-to-back. Because the Laker game is going to start like at 7:30. Is it not?
Yeah. Well,
so you'll see most of a bad football game, and then you'll see most of a bad basketball.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They don't totally fit on top of each other.
You can literally go from 5 o'clock till 10:15,
just
throwing up into a bucket in that living room that may now be fully lit.
It is lit. We did have power back on this morning. I'm very happy to report that to you. Somebody also, look, I mean, there are times when the text line can become incredibly combative. There are times when the text line can be full of trolls just trying to poke at hosts. Then there can be times the text line really does the show a favor. Someone from the 925 asked, Ray, have you seen the new Sharks reverse retro jerseys? And Ray has. I had not. So I asked Ray, what do you think of them? What do you think of them?
They're pretty boilerplate. I mean, they're not very flashy. There are some really good retros this year. This one, though, it's historical.
It's simple. It's clean. I mean, I'm going to call A+. I just saw them for the very first time on the recommendation of the question that was posed. And if I had to describe what the Sharks retro sweater, reverse retro jersey, I guess they're calling it, looks like, if you could have taken one of the great NFL uniforms of all time, which were those old San Diego Charger powder blue yellows, and convert them into a hockey sweater, that's kind of what they look like. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely freaking gorgeous. I think the Sharks got great sweaters as they are. If they wanted to go to these full time, I would endorse that. Those are freaking gorgeous.
I wouldn't shame any uniform by putting them on these guys so far.
Oh, they can only ruin them with the way that they're playing right now.
I mean, we're not going to get too deep in the woods, but when a team scores first in a hockey game, they win about 67% of the time. No team last year had, more than 4 games where they scored first and lost all year. Sharks have scored first 4 times in 5 games and lost them all.
I know who they're missing.
Done scoring.
No.
Now more than ever.
No, they're missing a time machine is what they're missing. They've run out of stuff. They've just run out of stuff.
I'll tell you what Thursday night does bring us. Thursday night football. We get back to the Bird Gauntlet tonight. For those of you who do not know and have not been tracking, the Bird Gauntlet is a rare thing indeed. As a matter of fact, it's never been run successfully. No team in the NFL has ever beaten all 5 bird mascot teams in the NFL in any year. Now, obviously, you need the schedule breaks that would come with putting all 5 bird-related mascots on your schedule. But the New Orleans Saints, God bless them, they have the Bird Gauntlet on their schedule, and they are currently 2-0. They have beaten the Atlanta Falcons. They have beaten the Seattle Seahawks. And tonight, they're at the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll see if the Saints can open up the Bird Gauntlet 3-0. I know that, how about this? Very few audiences, Sports Talk Radio America today, are even aware of the Bird Gauntlet. This is the benefit of being in our audience. You have something else to track tonight.
Yeah, and it also helps there are almost no NBA games, and the baseball game doesn't start for another hour and a half.
Yankees and Astros. By the way, I want to correct a mistake I made 3 days ago when I said every single team that won 100 games got bounced so far in the postseason. That is incorrect. No. The Arizona Astros. The Houston Astros. They did get to 106, but everyone just hates them so much, nobody talks about it. 106 wins. This is a magnificent season. They're in the ALCS for the 6th straight year in a row. Call them cheaters, whatever. To cheat that consistently, if that's what they're doing, would be impressive. There must be a touch of skill there as well, and they're already up 1-0 in the series. Lou Severino making the biggest start of his career tonight. Framber Valdez was the quietest 17-6 with an ERA under 3 in the history of Major League Baseball. Yeah. The Houston Astros are 4-0 in this postseason. They haven't dropped a postseason game yet.
Well, technically 4-0-1 because they played their first 9 innings of Game 3 against Seattle to a scoreless tie.
Yeah, but this isn't hockey, so we're not.
Nevertheless, and if anybody still hates the Astros for 5 years ago, it's probably time to get over it. They only have 5 guys left from that team. 2 of them are pitchers who didn't even get to benefit from it. Most of the front office is new. Really, the only holdovers are Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yuli Gurriel, and the owner, Jim Crane.
Was Verlander?
Verlander was on there, but he didn't get any benefit from the
right. No one's banging a trash can.
Yeah, so he and Lance McCullers are the other 2.
Okay.
So basically, this is an entirely new Astros team.
By the way, Verlander K'd 11 last night to set a major league record with his 8th double-digit strikeout in the postseason. He also passed Clayton Kershaw to become the career leader now in postseason strikeouts. He has 219. Obviously, all postseason stats have been totally just disrupted by so much postseason baseball that so many great players did not exist through those times. So I don't know how much value you can find in anyone in modern times being a postseason leader in anything. They got so many more bites at the apple than, say, great players who back in the day, like, oh, congratulations, you won the National League. Your next game is the World Series.
Yeah, no, counting stats don't mean anything when you're trying to do that.
In the postseason, they really
average per game, though. And that's where Verlander just makes your jaw drop. Because I want to say he's like 9 strikeouts a game. I mean, that might be a little high because I haven't looked it up, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't the leader in strikeouts per game. Because
he's a monster and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to win the Cy Young this year at age 39.
Oldest ever?
That I'd have to look that up.
We'll have to look that up at some point.
I mean, let's put it this way: if he's not the leader, he can't be any worse than second.
By the way, even though accounting stats, as you call them, are they don't have much value anymore. How about this? Last night, the Yankees struck out 17 times, and the Astros only struck out twice. It is the largest difference ever in terms of your strikeouts compared to my strikeouts in postseason history. So, Yankees are basically a home run or nothing in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, they are. By the way, there are 2 guys, actually, who will be older than Verlander when he wins the Cy Young this year. Gaylord Perry was 40 when he won it in 78. And Roger Clemens won it at 42. So I'm wrong. Yeah. I stand corrected.
All right, though. But I would have, you weren't far away. Third oldest of all time who's going to end up winning it. Michael Zagaris has been around the NFL for 6 decades. That's amazing. He's got a new book out called Field of Play, 60 Years of NFL Photography. And if you are a Bay Area sports fan, if you actually go to games, you have seen him. So he is officially, Ray, the 49ers photographer. I believe he's also the official A's photographer. He just dabbles with the Giants on his off days and maybe goes to the tank every now and then.
He was a team photographer for the Raiders for a lot of years. I mean, if there's a photo in the Bay Area of any game that's older than 5 years, it's his.
He took it. He has a new book that is coming out, and we're going to talk to him about it in just a matter of moments here. And it's spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular. It's a coffee table book, and it's some of the best sports photography you'll ever see. I mean, it's an awesome book. So it looks like we are getting him on the line right now. I can tell you that it's nearly 300 pages of amazing images and moments from, again, the most popular sports league in the world. This isn't a full retrospective of the man's career. This is just what he's done in the NFL, and what he's done in the NFL is prolific. You can order yours today, and it makes an awesome holiday gift. Zagarisbook.com, Zagaris book.com, and he is booked to join us right here and now on Damon and Ratto. Michael, thank you very much for saying hello this afternoon. How you doing?
Good, man. You guys must be out of real news stories if you've got me on.
Well, how about this? Ray and I have already admitted we don't like helping anyone sell anything unless it benefits us directly. But both of us were sent copies of this book, and it's the rare time where Ray and I have brought something up like, hey, have you gotten this? Have you seen how nice this is? And we were legitimately impressed by it. So we said, of course, we'd like to talk to you today. And it's great to have you. Thank you for joining us. And I mean it, man. This is a special, special book. And obviously you put an awful lot of love into it.
Yeah. You know what? Thanks, guys, first. But yeah, it's 60 years of work. And in one sense, had it not been for the pandemic, it would have been hard to get any of this together because I'm still working for 2 teams, and now working for one team is almost too much. So it gave me time to go through stuff that I probably never would have looked at again had I kept on doing what I'm doing right now.
Do you have more sports photos in your in your collection than you do rock photos? Because that was the other thing you did. You did rock shows for probably almost as long as you did sports teams.
Well, I did rock and roll for about 10 years, and I finally segued out of that because I was doing that as well as the sports. But I mean, the thing with rock, everything started to change really with both music and with sports because it became corporatized. And what I was doing with the bands started to go away because the record companies, they became involved and they didn't want to pay much, but more importantly, they wanted to control everything. And you know what? With both of these things, I did it because it allowed me to become what I was shooting while I was doing it. You can't do that anymore. I mean, the camera was always merely an entree for me. The way, if you're a Coke dealer, cocaine was your entree to whoever you wanted to be. And as we're laughing, we also know it's true. And I knew with the camera, that was the way in the door. And then, the fact that I played ball all through college, both baseball and football, I missed that when I stopped playing, not the actual playing, but the hanging out, the camaraderie. I mean, where else can you go from 8 in the morning till midnight? And you're basically still in high school.
Are we talking about cocaine still? Because 8 in the morning to midnight, I could see how that would help.
Well, you know what? We can laugh about that. From probably mid 70s to mid to late 80s, that was in both sports and music. And by the way, it was also I'd go to weddings in the city, and at the weddings there'd be federal court judges, the DAs, attorneys. Everybody's getting high, and the irony to me was, and tomorrow they're going to go and sentence poor people to prison for doing what they're doing right now.
There you go. Michael Zagaris here on 95.7 The Game. The book is Field of Play, 60 Years of NFL Photography. It truly is magnificent. In your lifetime, can you even guesstimate how many actual photographs you have taken? Are we north of 1 million at this point, do you think?
You have as good an idea as me. I've never been into, numbers or anything like that. I just kind of do it. Probably a lot. And with the advent of digital photography, you take even more.
Well, and you just walked me right into my next question, because I've always how much different has photography become for you in the digital age? Like, do you have some warm spot in your heart for the discovery of the images that you captured in a dark room hours after you actually took the photos and it's all revealed to you as you're dipping it in the trays? Or do the instant results of digital photography, just as convenient as it is, make you prefer the new technology?
I mean, they each have strengths and weaknesses. I think, like most people, I hate to have to change, even if the change is going to ultimately be for the better. The problem, I still think you don't get, especially with color, and even black and white, the clarity, the sharpness, the contrast with digital that you did with film. Now, that being said, there are things you could shoot digitally that you couldn't have shot in a million years with film, because you just didn't have the light and you couldn't bring things up or down. The downside of the digital thing is you have a lot more imagery, and your production time after you shoot, it's, after a game, I'll go back, I'll download, then I'll edit between what I do for the team and for Getty. That's a day. In the old days, after a game, you dumped your film and your slides at the lab. You picked them up, and then, I'd spend a day in the darkroom. Now everything is immediate. Everybody wants it right now.
Right.
And when I say right now, I mean
yesterday.
Within 20 minutes after you've taken it. It's like, what? And they don't want, nobody wants to pay for your time. And that's another thing. I'm going to say this right now. Anybody that wants to make money shooting sports or music, forget it. It's not about that. I always tell people I feel like I've never had to work a day in my life because I have a great passion for what I do. I love what I do. And so I feel like I've never worked a day in my life. And when I look at my bank account, I feel like I've never worked a day in my life.
Well, hopefully this book changes that.
You know, I think the book will change things as far as print sales, but, you know, unless you're Anne Rice or Stephen King, you don't really make money on a book. That's kind of like your calling card. And for me, you know, it's kind of a life's work, and it's my mirror that I held up, and then I can share with other people so they can see what it's like. And you know, with this book, it's not your regular sports book or football book. It's not just action. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that most people never see. And more and more now, there's no way you'll ever see that again, because the people that run the show, they want to control what you see. And that's the most important thing, you know, corporately. The leagues want most of the money, but they also want to control the narrative.
Toward that end, I was going to ask, is there anybody still doing it the way you do it with the level of access you got? Or are you the last of the breed?
I'm probably the last of the breed. And it's not because I'm that cool or nobody can do what I do. It's because they won't let anybody do when I'm done, no matter what they'll say, they'll be like, hey, change the locks and don't ever let anybody like that in here again.
There's a lot of places that said that about you, though.
Yeah. Hey, and as we're laughing, we know it's all true.
Michael Zagaris, again, the book is called Field of Play, 60 Years of NFL Photography. You can order it today, zagarisbook.com, Zagaris book.com. Michael, throughout all the years, who was your most reluctant subject, and who was the biggest photography ham in all the years that you have worked shooting sports here in the Bay Area?
Well, the most reluctant, if that's even the right word, would have to be your friend and mine, Barry Bonds. And the biggest ham, well, there could be a lot of people. I mean, Ricky Henderson, Garrison Hurst, and I'm throwing these names out. There are a lot of people that they love the camera. Prime loved the camera. And I remember before we got him, I'd heard that 5 or 6 of our, you know, top players went to the front office and said, hey, you know what? We don't need that guy here. And I kind of agreed. I was like, yeah, Brian, are you kidding me? When he came, he not only made the team better, he worked hard. He made, you know, he had his own little video thing that he brought in. He took care of everybody. I mean, he was a great teammate. You know, like a lot of guys, I know the A's of 88, 89, 90, most teams hated our team. Dave Parker, Ricky, they thought they were hot dogs. When those guys are on your team, you love them. They're the best.
Could you do me a favor, and the next time you find or run across a picture of Ray Ratto that you just happen to stumble upon in your archives, would you send that to us? The wider the pattern in whatever sweater he's wearing, the better. If you have mullet Ray Ratto, we'd really love to see that as well.
Maybe Ray Ratto passed out in the bathroom of the Mabuhay, the punk crowd. See, that's a Ray that probably few people know or appreciate.
Christmas Eve. I remember it well.
Michael, thank you. Tell us real quick. I know you got a couple events coming up in the city. Where are you doing a meet and greet and a sign the book?
I'm going to meet and greet and sign the book tonight at the Sports Basement in conjunction with Green Apple. And tomorrow night, I will be in Petaluma at Copperfield. And I'm thinking next week, I'd almost have to go in.
Don't worry. Nobody plans a week ahead. They can see it tonight. Where'd you say? The Sports Basement?
Basement and the Presidio. And, I'll be answering questions. And as Ray would like to say, ask me no questions, and I'll tell you no lies.
Michael, good luck with the book and everything. It was a real pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much.
Listen, guys, I appreciated being on, and hope to see you both sooner than later.
We'll see you at the old stadium. No, and I don't mean Candlestick, unfortunately. I miss her. Thank you very much. Michael Zagaris here on 95.7 The Game. Again, the book one more time is called Field of Play, 60 Years of NFL Photography. Ray, forget my endorsement. People think I'm a nice guy. Everyone knows you basically hate everything. What did you think of the book?
If you don't buy the book, you're a jackass.
There it is. I mean, that is what I'd call the best endorsement humanly possible. Don't buy the book. It reflects poorly on you, the life you've led, and the rest of your family.
Your upbringing, your parents, your children.
Great interview, says the Xfinity mobile text line. The guy's real. He absolutely is a real guy, and they don't make guys like that no more. That's for sure. We got Samson Ebukam joining us at 4 o'clock. Steve Kerr at 4:45. A Thinking Man's Thursday. We got some things to think about this afternoon. Damon and Ratto on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield. Now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. And, of course, we're brought to you by our friends at Fremont Bank. Full-service banking, no compromises.
Fresh off receiving his 9th NBA championship ring, Steve Kerr joins Damon and Ratto today at 4:45.
Never had a bad ring night, I can tell you that. They're all awesome.
It's the best interview in the Bay Area.
I'm thrilled with the win. Ring night is never an easy game.
Steve Kerr, today at 4:45. Presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet. Only from Xfinity.
Your most valuable asset is your time. So why should buying a car eat up your whole day? At BMW of Fairfield, we value your time as much as you do. So once you've decided on your next car and how you want to buy it, we'll have you behind the wheel of your ultimate driving machine and on your way home within 1 hour. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
News, Will of the People, World Tour. Friday, April 14th, Oakland Arena. News. With special guest, Evanescence. Will of the People, the new album, available now. Tickets on sale Friday, 10 a.m. at muse.mu. Muse, produced by AEG Presents.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com, and if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Fremont Bank. If there's one thing we understand more than anybody, it's that it takes a local bank to really get the needs of local businesses. And more than anything, local businesses need access. Access to a knowledgeable banker and access to a full suite of business services. Can't come to the bank? We'll come to you. Our devotion to our clients ensures your business never misses a beat. That's why Fremont Bank remains the right choice for local and family-owned businesses. Learn more at fremontbank.com. Member FDIC.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Alice at 97.3 is celebrating the return of Alice in Winterland. Friday, December 2nd at the SAP Center in San Jose. Starring John Mayer. One Republic.
See you at Allison Winterland.
Matt Nathanson. Plus more to be added. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get everything Alice in Winterland at radioalice.com.
From abortion to inflation, the issues in elections across the country have far-reaching implications for the Bay Area. We're breaking them down on The Home Stretch, Odyssey's new original political podcast. I'm KCBS political reporter Doug Sovereign. Each week, I'll talk with a range of experts to give you a no-fuss 15-minute download of the most pressing issues on this year's ballots. KCBS delivers all news all the time on the Odyssey app. And listen to The Home Stretch on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Football season is here. The new Odyssey app lets you stay connected to your NFL team, your station, your shows. Follow your favorite stations and come back again and again. Get real-time updates on everything you care about. Miss your show? Jump back to their awesome rewind feature. The Odyssey app is NFL football. Live and on demand. Wherever you are, whenever you want. And did we mention it's all free? Download the Odyssey app today.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome, welcome. What a show we got. We already had a phenomenal interview. Michael Zagaris. Someone on the Xfinity mobile text line was like, I wasn't aware that this guy was like a renowned photographer. I've seen him around for years, but I didn't know. Great interview. Yeah, now you know. That's what Ray and I are here to do, to illuminate, to educate, and entertain. It's our three goals. I can't even say it.
No, our goal is to get to 557.
That's your goal.
Well, it is, but it is the
love
goal.
Me some broadcasting.
Yeah, no, Michael Zagaris, when you see him on the sidelines, he literally looks like he lives in a bus station.
Yeah.
But he's been doing this forever. And he has a level of trust with the people he works for to the point where even now he still controls the means of production. And the day they take it away from him is the day he walks.
Somebody said he got his start by using a fake field pass at Kezar Stadium, and that's how he got in. Well, Ray and I were talking about him during the commercial. First of all, they're just not making dudes like that no more. Guys like that don't even exist. And he does live in a world that will no longer be made available to the next generation coming through. Like, no one is ever going to be able to earn trust and house credit the way that guy has been able to. No one's even allowed to work in the media for 60 years in any one field. And what I compare him to, it's like he's a one-man NFL Films. NFL Films has the full trust of the NFL. NFL Films is not related to the NFL. It's a separate business. It has nothing to do with the NFL other than they use it as their subject, but NFL Films is not controlled by the NFL, is not edited by the NFL, and that is, Steve Sable taking over for his father. What was his dad's name? Ed Sable just had generational trust, and they never burnt the NFL, and that trust still remains today. I guarantee you that he basically is in a team photo of one now. No other team, unless somebody's been shooting, the last 60 years of Eagles football or something like that. has the rights and privilege to just walk around and do whatever they want at an NFL practice or an NFL game like he does.
Yeah, I think you may be wrong about NFL Films being an independent operation anymore.
Well, it used to be.
It used to be.
For sure.
But I think NFL Films got control of it either after Ed died or after Steve died. But I think it's theirs now.
I could see why they would come circling the wagons after the two primary caretakers exited stage left.
Yeah, again, I don't know the exact timing of when that happened, but I think it's an NFL company now.
I wonder how much Kyle Shanahan likes having him around.
How many times have you seen them do Hard Knocks?
0 times. But that's the thing. They haven't qualified for it. They've never really been a qualifier. There are certain things that disqualify a team for Hard Knocks.
They work very hard to make sure that the NFL knows that they're not interested.
Yeah, there was one year where they did qualify. Everyone thought it was going to be them, but it ended up going...
And that's because Kyle Shanahan pitched a blue fit.
Well, it was either Kyle or Jed or someone. That voice carried all the way to the brass, that's for sure. Look, it's Thursday. The Chiefs are going to be here on Sunday, which means there's no real need to go crying over any spilt milk in Atlanta anymore, right? I mean, it's time. It's moving on. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they still lost.
They did still lose, but I do hope there were lessons in that loss for Kyle that he has taken to heart, has processed, and he's going to use going forward. First lesson being, when you know your defense is up against the brakes, just based on injuries alone, you really just can't be business as usual on the other side of the ball. Kyle, in Atlanta, called a game plan as if he, one, thought he was up 14 points in the fourth quarter, not down, and two, he basically orchestrated an afternoon as if he weren't 7 to 8 guys short defensively due to injury. And Kyle's game plan is obviously always taking into account what the other team is doing, what their tendencies are, what they're about to do. It felt like he went into Atlanta not taking into account what his own team's that day's value was. You know what I mean? Based on who wasn't playing. You can't roll into Atlanta saying, yeah, we got the best defense in the NFL when you're minus enough guys on that side of the ball to no longer conceivably have the best team in the NFL. With all due respect to the Niners' depth and all that they got, there is no surviving, yeah, we're 8 men short here today. There really isn't. There's certainly no ability to just business as usual.
No, I think their original plan along those lines was, let's try to keep the ball and eat as much clock as we can and get a lead. They never did either of those. They fell behind 7-0, and then the fumble by Jeff Wilson makes it 14. Now they can't do anything that they want anymore, including protect their defense. And that's how that game ended.
But the thing is, they did early enough in the game make it 14-14, where there was your reset button. Like, you can start playing the way maybe you want to, but the way Kyle wanted to play, again, like I said, it didn't really seem to acknowledge the actual status of his own team.
But they give up the touchdown right after, so they don't get to do anything with the game tied other than try to defend. That's where it collapsed.
The biggest play of the entire day is when Mariota tucked it and picked up 17 with his legs on that drive that made it 21-14 on a I think it was 3rd and 12, and he just bust from the pocket. And that really turned out to be the drive, the play in the drive that turned out to be the score that you never saw the lead again after.
Yeah, the thing is, they never had the ball with the game tied at any point. And the 49ers, like a lot of teams that do the things they do, have to have the lead to do the things they want to do. They're not a team that comes from behind.
From the 707, Damon, did you hear about the Jaquiski Tartt interview where he compares Philadelphia to San Francisco and why he theorizes San Francisco has so many injuries? Did we hear about it? What if I told you that Mark Grandy lovingly cut this for us to share it with you today? Here is, I'm going to get this right. The Vish Kumarian show on YouTube. I don't know Vish Kumarian, but he had Jaquiski Tartt on his show, and he was comparing, contrasting Philadelphia practice and the season. Hey, look at it this way. He really didn't make it to Philadelphia's season. He was cut by the Eagles, and he didn't resurface with the Niners. Is he on the blocks right now? Is he up on the blocks? Like, if you want Jaquiski Tartt, can you go get him? You can. Here he is talking about comparing, contrasting the two different teams that he played for.
I don't know what they did this past camp, but if we're going based off when I was there, I honestly thought like he was doing a good job at saving our bodies, but just going to the Eagles, being with the Eagles for the short time I was with them, it ain't even close. Like what the Eagles do, like, and then you just got to go off results. From last year, the Eagles, I think they was number one in least injured players, and this year I think it's the same. So we're just going off results, like pure results. The Eagles, their plan is just by far probably one of the best. Where they definitely let you rest your body. Like you getting hard work in. But at the end of the day, like you getting a lot of time off to rest your body. You're able to be fast and light. Really like not feeling the pressure and the bumps and bruises throughout the season.
Interesting, very interesting. I actually hadn't heard that till I just pressed play, but I knew it was up here on my soundboard. That's kind of interesting. It really is. And look, I can dot that comment with this. And this is not something that I think I heard or thought I heard. I had a very, very reliable source tell me that one of the biggest issues that Deebo Samuel had as he was thinking about leaving the 49ers was the relentless nature of the no days off that Kyle had for his players and their bodies Monday through Saturday. That was told to me by an indisputable source. So maybe there is something to that. That Kyle has guys competing as if they're competing for their starting job, like you're, a college football team and you get the challenge, one guy gets the challenge at a position every week or something like that. Maybe there is too much intensity being placed on practice, but that's pretty interesting. And somebody says, who cares about Tartt's opinion? The guy can't even pick something. Look, don't dismiss what the guy says because maybe he dropped a pass one day, all right? Like, that's not dismissible. That doesn't make him a dismissible source. As a matter of fact, he's a better source than you'll ever be, who all you do is root for and slurp the Niners. This guy went through a Niners career. He went through Eagles training camp, and he's telling you, hey, I used to think that the Niners way of doing it was the only way to do it. Then I show up in Philadelphia, and I realize that there is another way to do it.
Plus, the Eagles cut him, so he's got no reason to be particularly loyal to them.
Exactly. If anyone, he should be saying Kyle knows better.
Well, but here's the thing, and I wish I was willing to lay out the money to follow Man Games Lost on the internet, but it's a pretty expensive follow. And they basically track every league, every injury.
Write it off.
With these guys?
That's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Steal the information.
Yeah. No, I would like a breakdown of every one of their injuries and see how many of them are in-game contact and, between weeks contact or non-contact. I mean, you've got to break down injuries at a more granular level than look how many guys are on IR, because that's when you'll find out if the strenuous nature of their practices is genuinely causing physical harm to them on a week-by-week basis. And you'd have to do that not just for the 49ers. You'd have to do it for all 32 teams so you have comparison points. So anecdotally, he may very well be right, but I'd need more information before I made an assumption one way or another.
And look, I don't think you can say that again, predict the injury and why it happened on a football field, practice or game day. It's impossible.
Yeah, you can't predict. But you could chart it, and you could make assumptions based on, essentially now 5.5 years of data, because that's how long Kyle Shanahan's been here. Are they among the most injured teams? Okay. why. How many of each injury do they have, and how were each of those injuries caused? It's pretty exhaustive work.
I wonder how much the NFL really is like data mining NFL practices for this information.
I think they probably are. I'm sure they can, go to any training staff and go, okay, we want a list of all your injuries. I mean, that's probably part of the deal of being in the league. What they do with that data is another story, but I bet they have it.
By the way, I want to welcome everyone to your 4 o'clock hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. Damn well better be free.
I was just told that Lucas has Samson Ebukam on the phone right now, which is fantastic because we're about to go inside the 49ers locker room presented by Harris Ranch Beef. Visit your local Chavez supermarket for all of your beef and tailgate needs. In his 6th NFL season, now his 2nd with the 49ers. Samson, thank you very much for joining us. Damon Bruce and Ray Ratto, it's a pleasure to have you on today. Welcome home after a 2-game roadie with a week at the Greenbrier in between.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, and feels good to be back home for sure.
I bet it does. Obviously, you got a big task coming up this week with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure you are very much looking out your windshield, no longer through your rearview mirror at the Atlanta game. So I'm really not going to get into details about that. I just want to know how you're doing. I saw you limp off that field twice. You warriored yourself through that game for sure. How are you feeling today? How's your body?
It's just a part of the game. You're going to get rolled up on every now and then. So you just got to find a way and the will to do it.
How?
That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, sorry. In what way? You don't have to get into any specifics here, but are the practices to prepare for Kansas City different than the ones that would be for basically any other team? Are they that much different in offense that you have to prepare differently, or do you prepare the same week in and week out?
We prepare the same week in and week out, but definitely know that with our record being 3-3 right now, this one's a little bit more important. And with it being Kansas City, because we know what type of team that is. That's a really good team. So we've got to just be more focused and more diligent in what we're doing just to make sure that we're ready for the game.
Samson Ebukam here on 95.7 The Game. When a play-by-play announcer is slaughtering the pronunciation of your last name, which happened in the first quarter of that Falcons game, does that get back to you? Like, do your friends text you and say, man, they're just crushing your name here on this broadcast?
I mean, sometimes they do, but it's mostly my family that gets to me. Because after the game, they'll be like, what's up with all these announcers not saying your name right, you know?
I mean, they got a pronunciation sheet, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, they do, but I don't know why they keep messing it up. It's only 6 letters, you know? So.
Well, but you've only been in the league for 6 years, so why would anybody know?
Yeah. I mean, eventually they'll get it right.
You are off to a fantastic start this year. Again, your career high in sacks is 4.5. You're sitting at 3.5 right now, so you're going to match any season high you've ever had with your next sack. How do you explain this year, it all clicking for you so early?
Man, I've been praying more, and I just been because of that, I'm just like not stressing as much. So I'm just having fun and just letting God handle everything that's in front of me, you know. Because all I can do is just I'm just trying to play to glorify Him, and He's been blessing me so much. So I'm thankful for it, and the gratitude is high right now. So I just got to keep going, keep my head down.
Do you
Don't
think
that it's just sweet, you know? You just keep going.
Do you think, Samson, that God will listen to your prayers about calling offensive holding as much as they call roughing the passer?
You know, I think they will, because I've gotten a few of them called this year, which is more than other years. So I think there's more of those calls to come, and hopefully it's not stopping me from getting to the quarterback.
Do you go back and grind game tape and see the missed calls? And does anyone get a worse holding call against him than Nick Bosa?
No.
There you go. No. He is leading the league in bad holding calls.
He is definitely leading the league in that. And he doesn't complain about it anymore, because he just gotten to the point that he just kind of like just goes with it, just moves on to the next play. and that's what we're all adapting here. Because we got, no matter what, even if you get held or not, you got to find a way to get to that quarterback.
You said a couple of minutes ago that you used to stress a lot more about just basically everything surrounding your game and football in general. Mm-hmm. How did that manifest itself, and how did you sort of get past the point where the stress was eating you up?
I mean, I just wasn't I wasn't in tune with my faith as much as I am right now, and I just kind of took on all that stress to myself, which is not what I was meaning to do, but I just kind of took it on myself and had so much distractions around me that was just kind of keeping me distracted from what I need to do. And then this year I just kind of approached it different than just to make God the first thing, just to make him the center, and then just limit the distractions around me. And my family understands that as well, so they've just kind of let me be this year just so I can find a way.
Samson Ebukam joining us here on 95.7 The Game. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your sentence there. You obviously got to play for Sean McVay, and now you're playing for Kyle Shanahan. And there's not a lot of guys who I think have really played for both. I mean, in their careers, because they're one-stop NFL head coaches so far, and there isn't really an awful lot of sharing of players between the Niners and Rams historically. Can you tell me a little bit about what's similar between these two coaches who are always compared and contrasted against each other? And Samson, what's different?
The similar thing is they kind of run the same offense in a way, except for over here it's just a little bit more aggressive on the style. And the difference is, honestly, it's kind of hard to tell. It feels so similar to me. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. I would say that Shanahan is a lot more calm. I would say that, because the way that he runs it is aggressive, but the way that he talks and his demeanor is just a lot more calm, cool, and collected. So because of that, people are able to rally around him a lot easier.
It does seem like McVay is over-caffeinated at times, for sure.
I mean, he's just a fiery coach. That's all it is.
When Shanahan yells at somebody, what is that like? If he's as calm as you say he is, what does he sound like when he loses it?
Honestly, I couldn't really tell you. I haven't heard him yell, so I couldn't really tell you. He just kind of tells you straight up what he wants, and he's not trying to steer you in the wrong direction or anything like that. He just kind of tell you exactly what you need to do. You just got to get it done.
One of the more fascinating things about you is you came to the NFL from Eastern Washington University, and you were teammates with Cooper Kupp. As a matter of fact, you both got drafted in 2017 by the Rams. Was there any indication in your mind, Samson, that he would become that he would actually basically become like a modern version of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss almost all at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, he broke the records in college, so I already had a feeling that he was going to do something special in the NFL. So everything that he's doing now, he earned it. So I'm not surprised at all.
Can we talk a little bit? Can we talk a little bit about the Niners offense and what you see in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle? And I know that they went ahead and didn't necessarily get the job done in that fourth quarter back in Atlanta, but you're going to be leaning on them hard, obviously, with the Kansas City Chiefs coming in. Tell me a little bit about the offensive side of the ball for the 49ers, and if the defense is, a little frustrated by what is not being produced.
No, the only thing that we're not frustrated with the offense. The only thing that we're frustrated about is us on the defensive side letting the opponent score 28 on us.
Well, it's really only 21, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that fumble return hurt.
Yeah. I mean, we count that as well, because honestly, we got to just make sure that they don't put any scores on the board. So we know that they're going to handle their business, So there's full trust over there. There's not frustration. We just got to handle our side of the ball, and we know that they'll do the rest.
How? People have talked all year about how good your defense is. How good is it in your mind compared to what you think it could be? I guess maybe the best way to do that would be scale of 1 to 10. If 10 is the defense you think you guys ought to play week in and week out, where would you put the number out the way you're playing so far this year?
Still kind of early in the season, so it's hard to say. But we're making mistakes that's keeping us from being like great, like we want to be. You know, everybody says that, yeah, we're good and all this and that, but like we can sit back and like watch film and see the mistakes that we're making, and we're like, man, if we could like just fix those mistakes, how much better could we be? You know. So that's what we're trying to figure out, and like trying to work through, grind through it, just learning and making sure that we can fix those mistakes and not make them again, so that we can be top tier.
Samson, when we had Talanoa Hufanga on a couple of weeks ago, we asked him about Tongan food. You know, what is Tongan? You know, what is the prime? If I were sitting down to eat Tongan, what would I be eating? You are from Nigeria. You moved here when you were 9 years old. What is Nigerian food? When I say we're eating Nigerian, what am I talking about?
A lot of rice. There's a lot of rice in our diet. Different types of proteins. Yeah, I'd definitely be like a rice and plantain. You know what I'm saying? Rice with some stew and plantain. With like some different types of beefs and fish and things like that. The flavors is kind of like Indian food flavors, if you know Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of similar, really spicy, really aromatic, so it's really good.
Nice, man. Well, I'll tell you, we got some protein to serve with your next rice dish. Our friends at Harris Ranch Beef are giving you 10 pounds of prime porterhouse steaks for joining us today.
Hey, that's awesome. Appreciate it.
There you go, man. Thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate you joining us today. Good luck. I know it's one monster of a challenge coming into Levi Stadium this week, so good luck. Continued success and health to you, and hopefully some of that success and health gets to some of your injured teammates real soon, too. It'd be great to have this team back and ready to go as much as possible on Sunday. Samson, thank you.
Appreciate you. Have a good one. God bless.
Thank you so very, very much. What a nice guy. Samson Ebukam here on 95.7 The Game. Really good stuff, and we went long there. Tongan, the pronoun Tongan. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I don't have a lot of Tongan conversations. Just trying to ask interesting questions.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to bail me out here. Anyways.
No, I'm not going to make up an answer. Yeah. I think it's pronounced Fijian. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, Samson, no P, by the way. Samson. So remember that next time you're talking about Samson Ebukam. Thanks so much for him joining us here on 95.7 The Game. Steve Kerr in a half an hour from now.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to getrbawindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, do you know when it's time to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Can't see through fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've been putting off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and
free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And this month only, you can buy one and get one 50% off when you purchase 4 units. Just text WINDOW to 323232 right now for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or even patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for an entire year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, buy one and get one 50% off. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Text WINDOW to 323232 right now. Don't go into winter with drafty windows. Text the word WINDOW to 323232. Don't wait. Text WINDOW to 323232.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Does your heart long to wander? To encounter colorful creatures from the deep blue sea? And amazing animals from the Amazon and beyond? Feed your wild heart. Travel the world. Right here in San Francisco. Make your reservation to the California Academy of Sciences at calacademy.org. Explore Wanderwoods, our new outdoor playscape, now open.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Are you interested in new career opportunities in the Bay Area and want to make a difference in your community? The SF Sheriff's Office is looking for people considering a job in law enforcement right now. If you're at least 20 years or older with a high school diploma or equivalent, the SF Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. Enjoy full benefits, flexible schedules, and opportunities for growth and promotion. For employment announcements and more information, visit sfsheriff.com. That's sfsheriff.com to apply today.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Be Honest Bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find this Halloween.
Thirsty.
Oh, hey, Frankenstein. Did you enjoy that Cabernet?
Oh, good. Want margarita?
Well, all the villagers are raving about this tequila.
Ooh.
And we have it at the lowest price.
Economical.
Find what you love what you find with the totally lowest prices for Halloween. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
In San Rafael, cloudy skies overnight, lows in the low 50s.
Weather brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed for recent Omicron variants. Learn more and schedule your updated booster at vaccines.gov.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks again to the Niners for setting up a conversation with Samson Ebukam. Fantastic to talk to him on our top chat text line on our YouTube page. San Jose Jazz fan says, Damon, can you throw some of those fine Harris Ranch products at the YouTube chat? Absolutely. All I need you to do is make the Niners roster and then agree to come by for a Wednesday, Thursday interview. That's it. The minute you do that, we'll send them right to you. That's all. All you got to do is leave whatever job you have, make the Niners, and that 10 pounds of porterhouses could be yours.
If he sticks around 2 more weeks, there might be a roster spot open for him.
It is nuts. By the way, Kyle Shanahan talked yesterday about how, he's aware of his team's injury problem.
Yeah, everyone gets frustrated with that. Coaches, fans, players. I've gotten more hardened with it, I think, so I just try to deal with it.
So, wait a minute. He's developed a callus to the Niners' injuries. I wonder if, look, and how do you accuse anyone of injury malpractice when you're not at the practices? But there is just an overwhelming feeling that the Niners are constantly the most injured team in football. It really does. I don't know, Ray, what is going to happen this weekend at Levi Stadium concerning the score, but I do know that one 49er is probably playing his last game of the year, or certainly the month, or through the holidays, just based on, past performances. And I know past performance doesn't dictate future outcomes, but there is forever a Niner going down every single game I watch them play. I can't remember the last time at the end of the game Kyle stood up and said, no injuries, we're good. We're getting on the bus and going home.
He might be guilty of a little over-reporting of injuries too. Bill Belichick loves to do that. And
choke you with information?
Yeah, just say, here, everybody's hurt. Let me explain football to you. Everybody's hurt every week. That's the deal. That said, again, that's where if the station wants to spring for my Man Games Lost subscription, I can look that up, find out if the 49ers are indeed the most injured team in football.
How much is that bad boy?
It's like $800.
For the year?
Yeah, every year.
That is an expensive buy-in price for any web page.
Well, they have information that people want to access, so at least I believe that's the price. If somebody from there wants to call and tell me I'm wrong and then comp me, I'll be happy to repeat their information.
Hey, we're in radio. The only thing we're looking for is full comps. That's it.
I'm a whore. I'm completely comfortable with that.
Hey, now. One of the questions we probably should have asked Samson was, whose job is it to just shut down Travis Kelce? Like, whose job is it going to be to spy Patrick Mahomes? Of course, I come up with great questions for an interview as soon as it's over.
Knowing full well that he would answer neither of them.
I don't think he's going to tell us, though. That's why I kind of avoid those questions.
Yeah.
And look, when it comes to people who have called into the station this week or have been on the internet trying to just, here's how I think the 49ers should go about beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I think most people agree, and I would agree with most people, that getting healthier this week, getting Nick Bosa back, getting Charvarius Ward back, getting Talanoa Hufanga back, who I think his presence or absence would go a long way to dictating what this game looks like this coming weekend, along with, slowing down Patrick Mahomes. It's who's got Travis Kelce. Like, there is no Tyreek Hill anymore. And there are decent wide receivers, but they don't have that Lamborghini week in, week out. But they do have the biggest monster truck in all the land in Travis Kelce. And I can tell you right now that there isn't a single NFL defensive coordinator who doesn't circle Travis Kelce's name like first when it comes to how are you going to slow down the Chiefs this week? Well, what the Niners need to do is double him.
Never been done before.
Thanks. Yeah, because normally single coverage does so well. I wonder if anyone else is thinking of, no, don't double him, bracket him. So what you mean is one guy on one side and one guy on the other side, which is a double team. If slowing Travis Kelce down were easy to do, it would be easily done. It is job one of every single defensive coordinator to try to slow him down. You can't. There really is no, he is one of the ultimate, there is no stopping, you can only hope to contain. And then you add him to that quarterback. who, again, on schedule, off schedule, it really doesn't matter. This guy finds the right play to make, and it's usually to Travis Kelce.
I think Kelce is probably one of the best separators in this league, with the best hands in this league. So whether he separates or not, he can catch that ball on guys, but usually does separate. And then he's got a quarterback that's good at throwing, so that's always a problem. They do a good job getting down there. When you do stop stuff, that's usually just when the play gets started too. So that's why they've been pretty consistently good.
No, it's very simple. If you want to stop Travis Kelce, just see to it that his name's on the injury report.
If you want to stop Travis Kelce, you better be laying on top of Patrick Mahomes for most of the afternoon.
Or play on the team that plays the Chiefs the week before and hurt Kelce then. Those are your chances.
So you're saying the Bills blew it?
Yes. Well, no, the Bills weren't worried about what the 49ers did. The 49ers needed to put a player on their roster, on the Bills roster for last week.
One of the things that I was talking to Larry about when you were on vacation was, maybe, just maybe, the Buffalo Bills soften up the Chiefs a little bit. And it turned out that the Atlanta Falcons did more to soften up the Niners than the Bills did to the Chiefs. As a matter of fact, the Bills probably created an environment where the Chiefs have just doubled down on every single practice habit and everything that they do to have a game plan right. And Andy Reid is all pissed off. And now you got a team coming in here, because it wasn't just one of those, and every single NFL team has hey, we just didn't show up today. We had a bad game, and that's why we lost. That's not why Kansas City lost to Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo is slightly better.
Buffalo is slightly better. Kansas City did not play poorly. Both teams left early points on the field with red zone shortcomings, and they just got edged. They got edged by. I don't think it's a secret to say that Buffalo is the best team in football right now. An injury or two changes that dramatically. We all know who, we all know how. But it is the Bills on that one line. The Kansas City Chiefs just underneath them. And then you got to give respect to the only team that hasn't taken a loss yet. Those Eagles look legit. They really do. You want to talk about a great player? Darius Slay is
he's
maybe the best corner in football.
He's having the best year so far. The only issue I have with the Eagles, though, is their schedule has been very gooey in the early going.
Isn't that the beauty of the NFC East?
Yeah. Well, it's now the beauty of the NFC West, too. Remember when that was the division that everybody said, "Oh my God, you don't want to go through them."
I thought that was the AFC West for a minute. No, you're right.
It's the AFC West too now. Yeah. When did the Chargers get off the dime? Will Justin Herbert get to retirement before the Chargers figure it out?
It is the
they're
race that everyone's.
And they barely beat Denver at home on Sunday. Barely beat them.
Well, the one thing Denver has is a defense. And that's why everyone in Denver is pretty upset, because the one thing that was supposed to be provided by Russell Wilson was finally like an avenue to and through the red zone. And the opposite has happened. They have regressed from the days of, got to get rid of Vic Fangio, got to bring in an offensive mastermind. I don't even know, honestly, why they would finish the year with Nathaniel Hackett. And I'm not this guy has to be fired immediately, but when you do know for a fact that it ain't him. My dad used to say the best time to get out of a bad investment is today. The second best time would be tomorrow. The worst time would be waiting after today or tomorrow to do that.
The question, though, is whether he's the reason they're as bad as they are, or whether that's just not a very good roster.
It's a little, here's the thing. There's the truth is somewhere in the middle, for sure, maybe offensively, but just the decisions he's making, the roster decisions he's making, it ain't him, dude.
I'm not arguing. All I'm saying is I didn't think they were that good to begin with. And no, he has not covered himself in glory. But I thought that, all the early season hype about Russell Wilson fixing the Broncos was a little overwrought, and it turns out it's a lot overwrought. He's more tentative now behind this line than he ever was in Seattle. He holds on to the ball a ridiculously long amount of time. He's constantly getting hit as he's throwing the ball. And it looks like, from this amateur eye, that he's not very confident about his play or the play of the people around him. He's also got miles on him. You know, maybe he's aging out.
Well, hamstring problem, I guess, crept up this week. He says his, labrum, the shoulder, that's been a problem so far this year. So look at it this way. If he's aging out, that contract's going to be rough. Because he's got $56 million cap hits coming up. I mean, there is a chance to get out of it after the $168 million guaranteed clears, but yikes.
Well, the guy who owns the Broncos now is the richest guy in North American sports, so I think they can cover that nut.
Russell Wilson.
Feeling better every day. Day by day. Obviously, it happened Monday night, but I heal quick. I don't know if it's Wolverine blood or what, but getting better.
When you're laughing at your own jokes, you know they're not funny.
Well, when you have a Slurpee press corps that is dying to giggle along with any entertaining thing an athlete might say, and you got crickets. That's when it's not funny. When you're basically giving everyone your own audible cue, like, that's something cute I just said, and you don't have the chuckle hut. Just go, Oy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's when it's over.
One, they're all furiously, trying to tape everything he says and trying to listen for context. They're not waiting for the hilarious, thigh-slapping, commode-hugging good times of Russell Wilson. Don't waste your humor on this stuff.
Jimmy G tells the same joke. It's amongst the
Jimmy G is Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Call him Jimmy G.
No, that was a mistake. I apologize to my parents who were both planning to rise from their graves.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
And if you play that again, they're going to rise from their graves and kill you. No, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is a naturally funnier guy. Russell Wilson is basically made of cardboard.
Did you see that the Danger Witch, the Subway rap that he was endorsing has already been pulled from the national Subway promotional menu? That's how little Russ is resonating with the good sandwich eaters of the world. By the way, the Damon Bruce is still available at Ike's, so nothing can slow that sandwich down.
Well, eating one.
I'm delicious.
Wow, you may want to rethink that sentence.
I am delicious.
No, Russell Wilson is not by nature an entertainer. I mean,
he fancies himself one, though.
Oh, he married into an entertainment family, but he's not entertaining except when he's playing football. Otherwise, he's a guy who sells you insurance.
He's goofy. He's nerdy. I mean, he's just he's a goofy guy. And he
wishes he was cool enough to be goofy.
You think he doesn't even reach goofy, huh?
No. He's the guy who comes out to fix your car's windshield when it gets a crack.
Oh, no. Safe light repair, safe light replace?
Yeah. He's a guy you'd love to have as your neighbor, but you never have to invest much time in having conversations with him about the fence.
Another funny part of the Russell Wilson drama, at least recently, today he was limited at practice, and he calls himself Mr. Unlimited. Unfortunately, he was limited today.
Limited. There you go. It had to happen eventually.
Mr. Limited.
Even when he was in Seattle behind good lines, he'd get sacked 45 times a year.
Here's my question, based on everything we've seen this year. How did that guy kick the 49ers' ass like clockwork? Is Pete Carroll literally that good at his job? Where he basically said, hey, Russ, I know what you're good at. We're just going to put you in positions to be good at that. And I know what you're bad at. And we're never going to allow you to do the stuff that you're bad at. And that's why everyone's going to say, just let him go. Let Russ cook. But I know that you're really not a head chef. You're more of a sous chef. I'm the head chef.
I think part of that is that he kicked the 49ers' ass every year because most of the time the 49ers weren't very good. There's only been 2 years in the bulk of Russell Wilson's career where the 49ers could even put up a fight.
Well, you had the dawn of the Harbaugh era, and then you had the Tom Sula nonsense and the Chip Kelly nonsense.
Okay, but in the Harbaugh era, they had the best defense in football. So it wasn't about Russell Wilson kicking their ass. Early on, it was the defense that kicked everybody's ass.
The
and
Legion
then when
of Boom
the defense
was awesome.
started to lose some of its luster. The 49ers went bad, and Russell Wilson was at the peak of his powers with guys to throw to. Now, he's running on E, and he still beats them. 11-10 in the worst football game of the year.
Tonight on Thursday Night Football?
No.
No, I know.
Okay. Oh, no, I think tonight has a
previewing.
chance. Tonight has a chance to be the worst game of the year.
Anytime it's a Thursday, it might suck.
I mean, and you saw the DeAndre Hopkins video, right?
Oh,
don't call this a comeback. No, nobody's calling it a comeback. They were calling it a suspension.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that he gets to release his own hype video, never admitting to why he was shelved in the first place.
Yeah, I just faced adversity. Yes, you did. One needle at a time.
It's like when Calvin Ridley starts doing those DraftKings ads on behalf of the NFL. That'll just be mwah, chef's kiss.
I'm for all of those. But, I mean, that's another definition of new media, where the people who are having the stories told about them get to tell them their way with their slant, which makes it no more honest than when somebody else is doing it.
By the way, the word media should never be used if you're covering yourself.
It's an autobiography.
Right. Independent. Someone who isn't you has to cover you for it to actually be a media moment. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a selfie.
Well, yeah, and Michael Jordan took that to a 10-hour extent. I mean, that's I think the springboard for everybody else to say, you know what? I'm going to make my own story.
They're still chasing Jordan. Everyone.
Well, I mean, I can't wait for when LeBron retires, because apparently he's got a 12-parter locked and loaded in the holster.
23-parter. One for each digit on his jersey. Well, no, he only wears, he wears 6 now.
No, he's 23, I think, still, isn't he?
I think he's 6.
Okay, well, he's gone back and forth. I think he was 6 in Miami. But he's 23.
Yeah, I was just watching him the other night. He's definitely 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So he's wearing 6, and then he's got the retired Bill Russell 6, but he gets grandfathered in. And look, he should be.
I don't know if anybody else was wearing 6.
No, there definitely were other players wearing 6. Definitely. Like Nick Caruso, I think, was wearing 6. Few others.
I'm going to wait for the break, and I'm going to look that up. Not because I doubt you, but because I'm curious.
Well, you are a curious cat. 2 NBA games this Thursday night, Bucks and Sixers. It is the Bucks season opener. It is the Sixers' first home game. Go Kate Scott. Clippers and Lakers is going to be your nightcap. It's really more like drinking arsenic if it's a Laker game, based on what we saw out of that first game. God,
and what you'll see ongoing.
But here's the deal. It's not, and you could say, well, he picked the roster. He said, saddle all future assets, forget about all future assets. Get me Anthony Davis, get me Russell Westbrook. And in a way, it's his fault. But God, LeBron is still awesome. I mean, who in their 38 season, he's going to be 38 in December. Who in the NBA in their age 38 season was definitely still one of the top 5 players in this league? Kids.
Oh, no. LeBron is such an outlier that there is no sensible comp for him, with the possible exception, and this is a weird one, of Wilt Chamberlain, who was essentially unstoppable wherever he was. He wasn't just a guy who dunked the ball.
From the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Like of his career.
Yeah. I mean, watch him early in his career when he was making like 12-foot fadeaway jump shots off the backboard.
Did Al Attles get him? I mean, Al knew how to defend him pretty damn well, right?
Al played with him for a while.
So he kind of knew him.
He knew him, but he didn't guard him. I mean, the only guy who actually ever had any success against him was Russell, and the only success that he had was he lowered his points per game by about 6 a game, but he was still the most dominant player in sports.
So he's only getting 42?
Yeah. No, Bill Russell would easily acknowledge that. He said, I was just trying to, shave a little bit off the edges. And then in the playoffs, every year but one, I think, Russell had the better team. And, the rest is history. That's why his number's being retired instead of Chamberlain's.
Over the next few months, LeBron James is going to do an awful lot in terms of climbing up career rankings. Over the next few months, he's going to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leader in points. He's about 1,300 points shy of Kareem So that'll be towards the end of the year. Magic Johnson, he will pass Magic Johnson on the NBA's all-time assist leaderboard, putting him in the top 5 of all time. Again, he will be the NBA's all-time leading scorer, and he is going to be top 5 all-time assists at the very worst. He is about to pass Hakeem Olajuwon in career steals. He's already top 10. He's going to move into 9th all-time, all by himself soon. And very likely tonight, Ray, he's going to pass Paul Pierce on the all-time leaderboard for made threes. The other guy who was tied, though, was Dame Lillard. How many threes did Dame Lillard hit last night? Can we get a count on that from the other side of the glass? Because however many threes Dame Lillard hit last night, LeBron needs one more than whatever Dame hit up in Sacramento last night.
Lillard was 1 for 8.
Okay, so LeBron needs 2 threes to be 9th all time in the top 3-point shooters total in NBA history. I mean, that guy is just, he is the most complete player, I do believe. And now that counts a lot. It dismisses the careers of a lot of guys who played without a 3-point line. But he's special, man. Look at it this way. There's one reason to watch the Lakers, and it still ain't Anthony Davis.
No, I mean, but, again, Anthony Davis has been allowed to be that. If somebody could basically get him, and it's not that hard to do, because LeBron could do it with just a whisper. Just say, listen, take a 12-footer now and then. Don't take a 20-footer. You can follow your shot at 12 feet. You're good at 10. You're good at 8. You can do a lot more if you're not standing out at the arc next to me.
There are tons of reasons to watch the Golden State Warriors. They've got the Nuggets coming in tomorrow night, who, by the way, they lost to the Utah Jazz. How about that? Steve Kerr joins us next, and one of the things we're going to ask him about is all these minutes and how few of them he has to give to a team this deep. So don't you go anywhere. Our first official conversation of the NBA season with Steve Kerr is right around the corner here on 95.7 The Game, brought to you by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises.
Why spend hours negotiating with a car salesman to get the best price for a vehicle you want to buy? At BMW of Fairfield, we give you our very best, most competitive price right up front. By eliminating the price negotiation process, we create a comfortable environment that helps our guests enjoy an experience that's often hostile and difficult at other dealerships. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Don't waste your time trying to sell your old car. Donate it to Cars for Kids. It's the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Donate online at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 90 minutes before tip-off of every Warriors game. Brought to you by Xfinity Sports Zone, the ultimate hub for everything sports. With live games, shows, news, and highlights all in one place. Only with Xfinity X1.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to meal enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Alice at 97.3 is celebrating the return of Alice in Winterland. Friday, December 2nd at the SAP Center in San Jose. Starring John Mayer. One Republic.
See you at Alice in Winterland.
Matt Nathanson. Plus more to be added. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get everything Alice in Winterland at radioalice.com.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, ready for the grill and your taste buds. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had two challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to kansascitysteaks.com for website design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WebNow1. That's 877-WebNow1.
This is James Wiseman. Now back to Damon and Ratto.
Well, thank you so much, James. And I'm very happy to introduce, for the first time officially this NBA season, our weekly conversation with Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. Brought to you by Xfinity. Stay connected, protected, and entertained. Steve, I was told that you're driving somewhere. You're on your way to a meeting. We have not normally the time that we have with you, so I tell you what, we'll make this quick and we'll ask as few Draymond Green questions as possible just for you today. How are you?
Very nice of you, Damon. Thank you. Good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderfully, thank you. Congratulations on opening night. Obviously, that was an awful lot of fun. Of all the rings that you've collected in your career, how straight up humble was your first Bulls championship ring to the Texas-sized belt buckle that you got the other night?
Yeah, it's like just gradually from one, sort of every 3 years or so to the next 3 years, I guess. They've just gotten bigger and more gaudier, and that's the way it's going. So, a belt buckle last time, maybe after next time, like a full medallion. I don't know.
It's like a coffee table. You get a commemorative coffee table for winning an NBA championship. When you open the trap door in your ring, how many Larry O'Brien trophies are there? 4? Do you think there should be 9?
There should be 9, right? I mean, is that too much to ask?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know what the cost of all those carrots are, so I really don't know.
No, that's not for me to worry about, Damon. That's, not my problem.
maybe the next one can just have like a mini fridge.
That'd be good. Yeah, like a mini bar, maybe. Yeah, just an assortment of treats.
How much did you need last Tuesday night's game just psychically to get past the tumult of the last couple of weeks?
It was definitely good to play. You know, we had the one exhibition game too before that. It was helpful. And you know, the further out we get from this, the more it sort of fades into the past. And you know, I think one of the things that Bob and I talked about when we sort of settled on how we were going to handle this was just our familiarity with the team and with each other, and we do feel comfortable that we're going to be able to just move forward, and the players are all involved in that decision, and so I think we're going to be fine. It's just we need to keep playing and get a little momentum in the season.
You don't have to get into a lot of detail on this, or really any, since you're the one controlling the answer, but how long did it take you and Bob to formulate a plan once the incident happened? Was that a sleepless night? Was it long meetings for the next day or two? What was, I guess, loosely defined, what was the process by which you came to try to figure out how to make sense of this?
Yeah, it was definitely a period of days. You know, I think you just have to go through a process when something like that happens. You don't want to rush to judgment. You want to talk to everyone. You want your team to be involved, and especially your core guys, your veteran leaders, and so that it definitely took 4 or 5 days for us to really sort of sort through everything. And in the end, as Bob and I have both said, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no easy answer. You do what you think is best for the team, and you accept whatever criticism comes your way because it's basically all fair. This is what's happened, and we're going to try to deal with it, and we just move on.
Well, look, obviously it's all big boy stuff. Luckily, there are enough big boys in the room to handle it, that's for sure. Final question on this topic, I promise. Are you any closer today to understanding how or who leaked the video?
No. And that's, that will all stay behind the scenes. So anything that I did know, I would not tell you anyway.
I appreciate the honesty of the answer for sure. Steve Kerr here on 95.7 The Game. So my 1-year-old has a puzzle. It has basically 2 pieces in it. You put it together, congratulations. My 3-year-old has a puzzle with about 4 or 5 pieces in it, 6 pieces in it. As they get older, more pieces will be added for the greater challenge. Are you about to complete the biggest puzzle you have ever had in terms of player minutes distribution? This looks a little ridiculous. This is a 5,000-piece puzzle for you, Steve.
Well, it's good to have options, I can tell you that. I mean, you'd way rather have this issue than the issue of we don't have enough pieces. So we got lots of pieces, and it's it's my job as coach to figure out what that means and how to put them together. It's our staff's job, and I think we've proven over the years with some deep teams that we've been able to handle that. It's not easy. It's not easy for the players. When everyone is healthy and you've got 12 guys, 13 guys who are all capable of playing minutes and who probably deserve minutes, and only 9 or 10 can play. That's hard on 2 or 3 players, and so what we just try to convince our players of is that over the course of 82, it always works out, and it really does, where everyone's going to get a chance, and the whole point is to contribute to something special, and like we did last year, and I think the same thing happened for us last year. You can go down the list, and every single guy really contributed at key moments, and that's what we're looking for this year too.
I know it's near impossible to sell patience to someone who's got youth on their side. How difficult is it for you to sell patience and less of a workload to your veterans?
I think the veterans understand it a little better because a lot of those guys have been part of teams that maybe didn't do that well or weren't that functional, however it is. When you've had a little experience and you realize, all right, we're in a good situation here. We got a chance to win a championship. We're living in the Bay Area. We get to play with this group of guys. There's a sense of perspective. Young guys are, understandably, are just, they're trying to get their careers started, so they're going to be, a little more short-sighted, a little more anxious to accomplish everything right now, and those are all things that we have to factor in when we navigate the season.
How far into the schedule have you tried to at least pencil in nights where somebody's going to get a night off or somebody's going to get reduced minutes just for load management purposes? Do you go very far down into the schedule to do that with having sort of a rough idea of when you want to play more Klay Thompson or less Klay Thompson, or do you just take it day by day?
We do both. We have a rough draft. Our performance staff actually does that, just based on the schedule. But then as the date grows nearer, then we have information. We have all the data from what we gather from the players in terms of their output, energy-wise, the mileage they're putting on the floor, and so things change. You might have something scheduled, but it may not pan out that way because of circumstances. So you just kind of put together a rough draft before the season starts, and then you adapt accordingly.
How deep is your rough draft right now?
That's the training staff's rough draft. I haven't even looked at it yet, so I haven't even asked Rick. What's the first date? My guess is that the first time we have a back-to-back, that will be a probability that somebody will be sitting. But I don't even know when that first back-to-back happens. I just know that we play Denver tomorrow and Sacramento on Sunday.
It's the 29th and 30th in case you were needing that information.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here to help.
How much do you miss Mike Brown?
We miss Mike. I mean, he was such a huge part of everything here and complimented me perfectly. Was always the source or a source of great humor. Mike had this, or has this amazing personality where he's, he can laugh at himself just, maybe even more loudly than he would laugh at others. And so he's just a really endearing person and also an amazing coach. And so I'm happy for him. And you can tell the Kings are going to be better. He's done a great job with them all preseason. They've looked excellent, playing with a lot of energy. So he's going to do a great job there, but we definitely miss him.
Did you hit the couch with the clicker last night, taking like the full first slate of NBA action? And if you did, what stood out to you?
I didn't. I had an event last night at Berkeley on campus that I attended, and then when I got home, I turned on the two late games and I caught the last 5 minutes. Two great finishes in Sacramento and in Phoenix, so I was able to catch a little bit. But tonight is definitely a league pass night for me.
Did you wake up anyone in your house like the way Steph was waking up guys and his kids in his house when Damian Lee is dropping in big buckets?
Well, since my wife and I are empty nesters now, there was no one there to wake up, but we were watching and we were quite excited for Damian. That was pretty cool.
Does she really watch games with you? And how often does she, before she starts looking at you and going, I don't work for the team, I don't need to do this?
She actually enjoys watching. I thought it was getting a little too much a couple of years ago when she walked by the TV, glanced at it for 5 seconds and said, that's defensive 3 seconds. And then the ref called it. And then she just walked off. And I thought, okay, you're going to do that. You're going to do the mic drop, are you? So,
but that's why it works, right? I mean, isn't that why it works?
That's why it works. She knows what she's looking at. She enjoys the games, and she has no problem. If I sit there and watch, a league pass for a couple of hours, she has no problem sitting there with me. I will say she's not, always focused on the game. She might be doing something else, but this is the way it works. She doesn't mind sitting with me, and I'm just, surfing league pass. It's a good night.
By the way, when Media Day came around, we had Steve do a little heavy lifting on the top of the hour station identification, making its world debut. Welcome to your 5 o'clock hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app.
They even produced it, Steve. They even put music under you. Congratulations. What a moment.
It was pretty special. That was one of about 93 cue cards I read, I think. By the way, I wouldn't know, what any of those things were, that I said, but, I said them. So.
Well, would you like to hear Ray's? Because Ray doesn't understand it either.
No, we don't want to.
No, Ray basically threatens people to download the Odyssey app, should you dare to do so.
Yes.
I wanted to ask this, since you brought it up. Given the fact that Margot can not only spot defensive 3 seconds, but also doesn't always focus on the game in front of her, is she an NBA official in your mind?
Now we're wading into fine territory, so I'm just going to laugh at your joke, acknowledge that it was quite funny, and then we're going to move on to the next question.
I mean, that's a mid-season cheap shot question. It's not a
cheap shot question. I think she could be Ed Malloy in a couple of years.
Steve, when Klay Thompson went out to the TNT set, they talked about a lot of things. I'm no soccer guy at all. But he said that you have a concept that you borrowed from soccer called tiki-taka. What is tiki-taka?
It's a style of play that really revolves on ball control, and Barcelona played. We had a few soccer players in the gym for many years. Barbosa loved to kick the ball around, and I had watched soccer for years, and I was enamored by this story that I read about FC Barcelona, and so I showed some highlights one day, and the whole point is just keep moving the ball, keep getting open, but possess the ball. And we have so many threats that each pass sort of compromises the defense a little bit more because they keep having to make decisions and move it. And so my philosophy was similar, just ball movement leads to defensive breakdowns, and so I really connected to that soccer concept that was referred to as tiki-taka, and so the players, I was shocked that Klay remembered that. That was like 5 or 6 years ago, but I'm glad he did. It still resonates. That's cool.
Are you still using that, or have you sort of moved more toward Liverpool's sort of gegenpress? And do you use that with them?
Ray, you are in mid-season form. This is our first interview, and I got to say, you're on your game, so this is impressive.
I can't imagine how less sincere you could be.
Well, to get back to the soccer analogy, you guys know I'm a fan. I really think there are a lot of parallels to the game. I can't claim to be this soccer aficionado, but I love watching, and I see the parallels. And I do think that basketball players who played soccer or hockey or these field sports where it's similar movements and cutting action and working behind the defense. I think it really translates, and it's always fun. We had Pat Spencer on our team who in preseason he's going to be in Santa Cruz with our G League team. He's one of the great lacrosse players of all time. Really cool story, and there's no question the game translated. Like, you saw him in preseason, he's back cutting everybody, getting all these layups, throwing these wonderful passes, across court to cutters, and it's really fun to see when one sport sort of translates to the next, and you can visualize that.
Was he a Johns Hopkins guy, Syracuse guy?
Loyola, Maryland.
Ah, all right. Well, Maryland, that's a hotbed for lacrosse.
Yeah, hotbed.
Right. In the time that you've been the head coach of the Warriors, you've seen the game change and sort of evolve more toward the things you believe in the most. How many teams don't do that yet? You don't have to name any of them, but has the revolution finally taken over everybody? Is everybody trying to do this, or are there still some holdouts? Or are there people who've moved past this to something else?
I think, we've been different because our team is built differently. Draymond is so unique. His best offensive position is point forward. And so, we haven't really been built like a lot of modern teams with a rim running big and, tons of shooting. We've been more top heavy with our shooting. We've had, at one point, probably the three greatest shooters on earth, with Kevin and Steph and Clay, but not 7 or 8 3-point shooters on the perimeter, and not a rim running, lob catching big. Now we're sort of trending that way. Interestingly, with James is such a threat. Jordan Poole's such a really good pick and roll player. Dante DiVincenzo. So we're actually, I'd say with our second unit, we're playing a more traditional pick and roll style. But, with guys like Draymond and Andre, Andrew Bogut, David Lee, all these incredible passing wings and bigs, we just felt like, to combine that with Steph and Clay's off-ball movement, it just made a lot of sense. But most teams don't have that kind of personnel. Most players like Steph and Clay are one or the other, on ball or off ball. And so it's pretty unique to have the talent that we've had, and we've tried to just play a style that makes that work.
Always great to talk to you, Steve. I know you got to get running, and we'll have an entire year's worth of conversation to get into the nuts and bolts of how this team fits together, the development of your young players, and we look forward to talking to you about all of those topics in the near future. Congrats on the opening night. Congrats on yet another ring and a banner. It was great to see it come together, and we look forward to a year of Warriors hoops for sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
There he is, Steve Kerr, here on 95.7 The Game, boogieing to some meeting that he's got, and I just want a golf clap. His cell phone. That's the best Steve Kerr cell phone reception we've ever had. If cell phone reception dictates what kind of season the Warriors may have, I'm just saying 81-1 is out there.
I'm just saying he was in the car, so you can thank the car for that. Because I think the problem with his cell phone has always been when he's in a hotel room and he's wandering around. And we get
a landline in a hotel room. We go landline. We actually ring the hotel. Yes.
Well,
at least we better. That's because it's
then they must be staying at some really old Hampton Inns.
Yeah, the Warriors' exclusive hotel partner, the O'Connell Lodge.
Yeah.
Anyways, good stuff, and you are on your game. He appreciated you. He had fun with you, Ray.
It's early yet. When you say I can't look forward to the rest of the year doing this, I could just hear his heart sink. Just going, oh God, I got to do 25 more of these.
By the way,
and I do believe that he's going to tell Margot that she could be the next Lauren Holtkamp.
He will probably share the joke with her. It was good.
I mean, if she can pull defensive 3 seconds, it's an indication to me of one of two things. Either she watches a lot, or she's heard him scream it at the television enough times that it's now like a parrot with Tourette's.
It's a trigger for her. She knows.
Yeah,
she can feel it happening.
It's Pavlovian.
By the way, last night, once a Warriors, always a Warriors, Damian Lee in Phoenix. the Mavs got out to an early lead. It looked like that game was going to go to bed, and Phoenix was going to be in that loss column. Another embarrassing loss, even in the Mavericks, until Damian Lee came to save the day.
Lee back to Booker. They better hurry for a shot. Give it to Lee. Lee on the drive. Lee's shot is good. Baseline. Had to put it up over Cleveland. Suns leaded by 2. 7 seconds remain. Doncic with the basketball for Dallas. Lee defending. Doncic a long 3. Won't go.
Ball game? Something close to it anyways. Al McCoy on the Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. One of the true great play-by-play guys out there.
Yeah, I believe his age is 98.7. He's been doing the Suns since before there was Suns.
Since before the sun rose in the East.
And I'm not a huge fan of his, but the one thing, at his age, I think he's like 87 now. And the best way to tell if a basketball broadcaster is on his game is to listen how his voice and the crowd noise behind him sync up when he's explaining something. And he's still right on it. I mean, he describes the Lee score just as the crowd's erupting. And that means he's not sitting there waiting or working off the monitor.
Or he's not doing play after play.
Yeah, no, he's still on it. I hate him, the bastard.
You know who is all on that Damian Lee 3? First name Stephen, last name Curry.
Come on! Yeah, Dave! Stick with it! Stick with it! The kids asleep! I don't care! Stick with it! Woo! What?
Give credit where credit is due.
I'm sorry, Candace crying. I woke him up. There you go, D-Lee!
There you go. So someone in the back. Is that Aisha in the back? Saying
It damn well better be.
I called it. Well, it could have been. Well, I'm guessing Damian Lee's wife at that point is at the game, right? Probably.
I would
maybe.
guess.
I don't know. But anyways, it's a family affair. So I thought maybe, who knows? But she's basically saying, hey, would you do me a favor and pipe down? We got sleeping kids in the house.
Come on! Yeah, Dave! Stick with it! Stick with it! The kids asleep! I don't care! Stick with it! Woo! What?
Give credit where credit is due.
I'm sorry, Candace crying. I woke him up. There you go, D-Lee!
Steve, an empty nester now, of course. But I thought maybe he woke up the dog or something. Steve seems like a dog guy. Steph Curry did wake up his son reacting on Instagram to the Dame Lee game winner.
Does he not have a place where he can watch games in the other wing of the house?
You would think there would be an east wing.
And the fact that he sort of kind of backsassed Aisha for about 5 seconds before he snapped back into programming, that's it. That's an indication that basket actually meant something to him. But I would think, he's got to have a separate house on the grounds for just moments like that. You go watch League Pass in the other house.
In the NBA watching house.
Yeah.
Not the actual main house.
Because I'm kind of on her side here. It's game 1.
Monty Poole all over this huge story.
Did you apologize to your son for your outburst last night?
Nah, it's my house. He's all right.
Yeah, he talks that now. He wasn't talking it last night.
No, sorry, hon. We need to ask Jillian how she would take this if you did this with Ozzy. Thank you very much for asking, 925. Let me just tell you right now, I'm so afraid of waking up the kid. Not because of my wife's reaction to it, but of the child himself. The last thing I would never wake a sleeping baby. I never knew how much truth there was to that actual wives' tale. Plus, we got some teething going on. So we are basically doping this kid with horse tranquilizer, children's Tylenol, before he goes to bed. He's supposed to get like 10 milligrams. I'm like, bump it up to 15, honey. He's me. He's a Bruce boy. He can handle his drugs.
You are the father of the year. Oh, no. Every moment that a child is asleep is like a mini vacation because they don't sleep nearly enough.
So we need both.
I mean, children need a good solid 8 hours a night and about 10 hours during the day. Just because every moment they're awake, you're hitting yourself in the head with a hammer.
It's loud.
It's not just loud. It's they're always in motion. Your life ended the day that Jack began to take his first few steps.
No doubt.
That was it. You're done until he's off to college.
Oh, I'm there's no doubt. There is no doubt.
Yeah, every time you pull into your driveway and get ready to turn the car off and head into the house, you'll feel a facial twitch.
Oh yeah, the summer of Damon is over.
Yeah. Oh no, that children are at their very best when they're inert.
Jose in Mountain View. You're on 95.7 The Game. Jose, what do you got?
Hey, man, you know what was so cool about Lee's going back and forth in that game with the Mavs? Wasn't it him that got into that verbal fight with Luka in the playoffs? And Luka didn't like what he was saying, and some of the boys had to come in and step in and calm Luka down. So if I remember correctly, I thought that was Damian Lee. So for him to come back and just do that to the Mavs and to Luka, that was awesome, man. I just wanted to share that.
No, look, it was great. And look, Dame Lee, of course, he was minus 11 in this game, but he knocked down those big shots. But Luka last night, and I don't remember, was the scrapple between Dame Lee and Luka? I don't know. It's like we got so deep into the Celtics in the finals, I kind of forgot about the details of the Dallas Mavericks series.
Well, and in truth, that series didn't last very long.
Plus, I'm just gargling children's Tylenol these days,
Yeah.
So
you have it bad for Luka.
I had a CT problem. Well, look, why wouldn't I have it bad for Luka? 35, 9, and 6 last night. He hits one more three, they win. He was 2 of 10 from downtown. Luka's the man. I mean, he really is. He's incredible. He's a bull in a china shop. There's no stopping him, and he plays at his own speed. That, to me, is what makes him so unique. Everyone on an NBA court is running their fanny off to get theirs. He just methodically moves through everything. No matter what the defense is, no matter how many guys you got on him, he wrapped around Devin Booker like a maypole last night and hit a shot while he was falling down. He's at a 45-degree angle and I can do that too.
But you know who does that too? It's in a different way, but it's also at his speed and only his speed, is Jokic.
Oh, totally.
Jokic defines the pace of a game because he's going at his speed and everybody has to adjust to that. Because if Doncic is a bull in a china shop, he's basically a bulldozer because you could bump Doncic off his spot from time to time. When Jokic is planted, he's an oak tree.
Yeah.
He leaves only when he wants to. If he wants to spend the rest of the night on the low block and sleep there upright, he's doing it.
Until Margot calls defensive 3 seconds on him.
I think even Margot couldn't get him off the block.
By the way, the best thing I ever heard about Jokic and his game was this. Every single shot he takes, it looks like he's putting a box of cereal back on top of the refrigerator.
Yeah,
keep that in your mind when you watch him tomorrow night. Luka's got, he's like Patrick Mahomes. He's got 65 different arm angles. Doncic either shoots a three, dunks it, or does exactly what I just said. Every single shot is that tiny little right over my head hook where he looks like he's returning a box of cereal to the top of the fridge.
He's like Boban in the what is it, the insurance ad where he's pulling the mayonnaise off the top jar.
Yeah, off the top shelf. Yeah, like at a Costco.
Yeah, I mean, just that's he does what he wants when he wants to, and the most amazing thing of the entire Warrior postseason was the frustration that he got because he wasn't able to do that every time down the floor.
And now with James Wiseman in the building, it's going to just be an interesting wrinkle.
I'm, in all fairness, and I don't mean to be unduly critical, he's going to own Wiseman for 2 years. Just because the things that Jokic teaches you when you're trying to guard him, are things that are going to take a long time for anybody to absorb. This is not about any deficiency of Weissman's. Jokic loves guys who play him straight up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, look, this is the MVP is supposed to teach the neophyte the lesson.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a long, painful learning process. The value, though, is that in the end, Weissman has more cards in his hand than Jokic does.
What type of cereal, Damon? I'm hoping Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Thank you, 650. You know me well. I roll with one cereal and one cereal only. I'm on Team CTC. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the greatest cereal known to man.
Although, I thought you were on Team CBD.
No, well, no, we go right. We're on Team the real stuff.
Yeah, we're not Team Smack.
Yeah,
and not the sugar kind.
Speaking of, what did I eat today? What did you give me, Lucas? What did I have when I got here? What did you have for me? It was so delicious. It reminded me of childhood.
It was a Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie treat.
A Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie treat. Is a Rice Krispie treat made with Fruity Pebbles? As the name Fruity Pebbles Rice Krispie treat would indicate.
Yeah, no sugar in that.
No, none at all. Did I mention I might have to have my gallbladder removed? I'm not even kidding.
Can I watch?
Yeah, we'll have you in. You can be like Kramer in the medical theater eating jujubes, and you can lose one in my abdomen.
It's that easy?
That's all it's going to take. Anyway, there you go. Honey Smacks, most underrated cereal ever. Again, this could be a Tuesday trifecta, but
it's not Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday, but we do have some maybe thinking to do a little bit later on a thinking man's Thursday. We took it easy on Steve with the Draymond Green questions only because, up to his eyeballs would be the only way to describe that.
Well, but the other thing, and I don't mean to interrupt, but the story is no longer what happened back then. It's all ahead of us. And Kerr doesn't know that any more than anybody else does because the future is going to take care of itself. Everybody knows what happened in that practice, and everybody knows what happened after it. The story now is how quickly do the Warriors get past it to the point where it's all just about the games again? Because it took, 3-4 weeks for the Durant thing to play over, to blow over after the night at Staples Center?
I don't even know if it's still totally blown up. I mean, yeah, but I hear what you're saying.
But you know what I mean.
It
Eventually,
takes a long time.
they'll all realize, if they haven't already, it's really about this stupid 81 games we still have to play. It's not really about that anymore. And if we start putting that ahead of the games in front of us, we're going to lose sight of why we're doing this.
By the way, the postman in Capitola is among the 6 or 7 people who have told me, Damon, it was Kramer eating Junior Mints, not Jujubes. And as a Seinfeld aficionado, you're correct. I am wrong, and I will try to do better. Thank you.
I would never have known.
No,
I'm proud of it.
Well, you're the guy who doesn't watch TV, doesn't read books, doesn't eat meals.
I do all those things. I just don't do the popular stuff because the popular stuff is lame.
Oh, the kids like it. It must be lame.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way about MASH? Did you feel that way about MASH?
The first 2 years was tremendous. Then it became preachy, and I lost interest.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But that's all I'm giving you from an entertainment standpoint.
You don't even have to give me that.
But I'm gonna. Take it.
Bite me.
Here's the way that a story can just follow you around, though. Like, no matter where you go. Today, Draymond Green was at a tech conference in downtown San Francisco called TechCrunch. And he was asked about Jordan Poole. And then, finds out a way to plug a podcast, too. But he's always working.
If Jordan ever wants to come on the podcast and have that conversation, I will 100% be open to it. I'm not one to hide from things, or run away from situations. And so if he ever wanted to come on and do that, I'd be more than open to it. It's not something that I would try to force on him.
I mean, would you take that interview for the most downloaded, listened to podcast episode of your entire career? Shocker. Of course you would. If you're Jordan Poole, I wonder if you ever do it. I wonder if you'd ever even consider it. By the way, real quick, one more. He did admit, after he told everyone, like, yeah, me doing a podcast right after wouldn't be right. I have to go to, new media dies a little bit in this moment. I got to go to old media to talk this through because I understand that just me telling everyone what happened doesn't carry the weight of actual questions. But he did admit that he did record the podcast we never got.
I did record a podcast. I didn't release it for a couple reasons. One, I was still reeling, and feeling my way through. And once I heard it, I didn't like it. And secondly, is I never want to, I'm in a team sport. I don't want something to come off as I'm doing something for personal gain. Yeah. Now, like I said, the countdown was a totally different thing because that was something that was actively going on. For me to release a podcast and speaking on the Jordan Poole incident that we had in practice, ultimately, the numbers will probably shoot through the roof, right? Because everybody wants to hear and people love controversy. Yeah. And so I never want to do that and look like I'm chasing something for my personal gain. And so that was why I didn't release a podcast on the situation at all. I've spoke about it several times.
By the way, one last note on this, because Steph Curry was asked today, and a little back and forth here with Kareth, about the Draymond documentary that got shown on TNT before the game tipped off the other night. And here's what Curry had to say about that.
How do you think his pregame documentary landed in the locker room when you guys are trying to move past the punch, but it rehashed the punch?
Honestly, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Have you heard anything about it?
Nah. Did he say something crazy?
He didn't say anything crazy, but I think the feeling was maybe the timing wasn't right, or maybe it was sympathetic to Draymond.
Yeah, I guess you have to ask. I haven't watched, so I can't really give you. I'm not gonna try to BS an answer. I have no idea how it landed in terms of that. But I mean, he's been in production and the new media stuff, and I'm sure that's not going to end. But hopefully everything is in light of trying to protect the team and make it about what we're trying to do on the floor as the priority. So that's all I got for you on that.
There you go. I mean, I'm not saying Steph is over Draymond, but he's obviously over this subject and talking about it. And maybe there is a little, Draymond back in the day, I would have sought out what he was working on because I'm entertained by him. But I don't know if that exists anymore. And again, yesterday, Anthony Slater told us this.
There's iciness. I mean, there's no way around it. It's pretty obvious. And at this point, I'm not saying it can't change. And Draymond Green's belief, I would assume, is that his play will change the situation. But at this point, he feels a little bit isolated in the locker room. And I guess that was part of him coming back, is they were going to isolate him for however long until they felt the situation changed. But that's certainly 2 weeks in or however long it's been. It doesn't feel like it's thought out very much.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that it was a team strategy to kind of give him the silent treatment?
No, I think he meant, at least what I heard anyway, that it's just they're not as free just talking about it because there's still tension in the air.
Right.
I don't think they're refusing to talk to him or making him sit in the corner. I just think there's less sort of
chumminess.
Yeah, just towel slapping,
right,
giggly.
Be like when I would bring home a terrible report card. It would take about 10 days to 2 weeks for my parents to warm back up to me.
Man, I denounce their lack of stamina. No, I think they're probably. I don't think it's frostiness as much as it is just sort of. I could say something, lighten the mood, but I don't much feel like it.
I have never felt as much of a separation between Draymond and the Warriors than this moment. But again, both sides are saying like, "Hey, look, we're trying to win a title," and we all know like. If a title is won, if a playoff run happens and Draymond Green is awesome in it, we're going to be talking plenty about that and probably wanting to interview him post-game after he shuts down Jokic in a big win in Denver or something like that. So circumstances can change is all I'd say, but they are a little odd right now.
And look, hopefully we don't have to wait till a game in Denver for Draymond to go about showing you his value, shutting down a guy like Jokic. That could happen tomorrow night. And it'll go a long way, again, to just moving on, getting into the damn season, like the question you asked Steve about. Just moving on. That's what it's time to officially do. And for those of you who are asking here, Like, why didn't you ask Steve Kerr about this frostiness in the locker room? Because here is Steve's answer. No frostiness. There's no way he would have.
No.
When it comes to in the locker room questions, I don't think Steve will ever be as in the defensive posture he'll be in this year after all that's happened. What is in his locker room is going to stay in his locker room if it's up to him to keep it in there.
And the truth is, for the most part, he doesn't spend a ton of time in there. He grew up in an era in which the players were in their locker room and the coach wasn't. Coach would be there for a pregame talk. He'd be there at halftime. But otherwise, he left the adults to be the adults. And I believe that's how he's run this team as well. So he would have the automatic out of saying, I'm not in the locker room that much, so I can't speak to that. And if I could speak to that, I wouldn't speak to that.
From the 650 on the Xfinity mobile text line, Damon, what do you think Uncle Colin thinks about his podcaster? I think Colin Cowherd might have felt it move in his pants a little when he saw the TMV video come out, because there's no such thing as bad publicity to someone who's looking for as much publicity for his volume network as Colin Cowherd is. He wants as much attention paid to Draymond Green as humanly possible. And you could say that the Draymond Green attention meter reached peaks that it has yet to ever reach. Now, I don't know if Draymond had ever been a global topic until about 3 weeks ago. And he became one. He absolutely became one, because every sports fan weighed in on it. What do you think of that? Apply it to the team that you root for and the sport that you care about. What do you think of that? It's a conversation that every single sports fan had.
Well, look, this is not an equivalency, but there's a parallel between this and the Latrell Sprewell, PJ Carlesimo incident, in that nobody really thought about either one of them very much, even though they were names in the NBA, until that happened.
Right.
And
now Leslie Stahl is doing the interview.
Yeah, and then at that point, it's on the CBS Evening News.
60 Minutes.
Yeah, the whole, it was news that night nationally.
Yeah.
Not ESPN news, it was news.
Right. Dan Rather on.
Yeah. It's so, beyond the pale that it had to be. It had everything that your modern day news director wants in a story. A name, soundbite, film, and violence.
If it bleeds, it leads. From the 206, if Steve Kerr were Jack Del Rio, then Damon would ask him hardball questions. Stop being a fanboy. All right, first of all, Steve Kerr is excellent. The only grade you could assign him in terms of letter grades is A+. It's the only grade that he qualifies for, where Jack Del Rio was a massive loser who had huge problems on the offensive side of the ball and fired his defensive coordinator. Or maybe it was the other way around. Who cares? And by the way, Jack got squirmy under the heat, not me. And Steve doesn't deserve the heat. If the Warriors screw it up to the point where we're talking about his competency to do the job, we'll turn the heat up. But until then, Ray, wouldn't you say that Steve is at the very least like an 8 out of 10 as a head coach? I mean, the guy has been in the league now, he got the job in 2014. It's his 9th season as a head coach, and he's already been officially added to the 15 greatest coaches in NBA history list. He hasn't even had a decade on the job. To say he's crushed it would be an insult to the concept of crushing it.
He didn't answer my Ed Malloy question, so I'm not in a mood to defend him at this point.
No, all you tough guys would run up to Steve Kerr and ask for an autograph.
They get to have their worldview. The point is, this story is now 2.5 weeks old. If we want to know what Steve Kerr thinks about what happened then, we have tons of sound bites on it. I wanted to ask questions about the now and about the going forward. I don't have to rehash something that happened 2.5 weeks ago.
Have you heard anyone else in the media ask him about the ongoing investigation, a question which he did sidestep, but we asked? But we weren't going to pump a well. Somebody says Steve is an accidental success. Oh, come on. Come on. Positioned greatly? Sure. Great team around him? Yeah. Find me the successful coach without that. There aren't any. There is not a single professional, successful coach in any sport winning titles without an awesome team. Duh. Come on. Come on. Here's something, though. You want to explore the multiverse? I do have a question. You know what I would like to see to sort of run the experiment that this person's saying that Steve is an accidental success? Oh, by the way, Steve would be the first to tell you how lucky he was, that he is not some singular great coach, one of the 15 greatest of all time. He just happened to walk into a team and make sure that they had enough about them to become one of the not even 15 greatest NBA teams of all time. The Warriors are a top 3 NBA team of all time, whichever team you'd like to pluck from their bouquet of championships under Steve Kerr. That team is a monster just based on pace of play and how they play, measured against all the history of the NBA. Anyway, the Kerr to the Knicks multiverse is something to me that I do think would be absolutely fascinating to see, knowing what we know about him and obviously knowing what we know about the Knicks. Maybe he would simply be completely crushed by their decades-long of incompetence and bad decisions, and he would have left the sport to be a Buddhist monk by now. Maybe that would have been a reality. You know, I'm not sure what kind of team he would have had. There's so much dysfunctional energy that comes around the Knicks that it would come at him like a headlight on a train coming out of a tunnel. Like there's no stopping Knicks screwing it up. However, Steve Kerr would have brought Steve Kerr to the table. And all that Steve Kerr-ness with him, credibility, stability, respect, cooperation, all the well-intended Steve Kerr that you hear every week with us or any interview or any time he opens his mouth anywhere. It would have been fascinating to see who would have rubbed off on the other more. Steve Kerr's completely indisputable functionality when it comes to managing people, or the dysfunctionality of the New York Knicks. It would have been amazing to see how that scale actually balanced out.
I have no doubt that he would have been destroyed, because the dysfunctionality of the New York market and the Knicks front office in particular would undercut most of his strengths. He wouldn't have the values of Bob Myers to bounce ideas off of.
Bob would be a huge missing piece for sure.
He would be working for people, not with people.
There'd be some of that for sure.
No, there'd be a lot of that. And he'd be working for an owner who isn't winning obsessed as much as he is attention obsessed. Everything the Knicks are is everything the Warriors are not.
I would agree with you there. But look, remember...
And he would not be able to function in that kind of atmosphere, because he is at his very heart a fierce competitor who doesn't like to be told by people who aren't as smart as him that they're smarter than he is. He failed as a general manager in Phoenix because of that same dynamic.
Well, and we also know that Sarver is about...
That's my point.
A monster too. But let me just riddle me this, Batman. He did have a rabbi. You know, you say you can't remove things from the timeline. Remember, the guy who was trying to hire him was Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson does know something about teams and success in basketball, and he and Steve Kerr might have presented a formidable duo together to just restore some normalcy to the Knicks. I mean, I'll tell you, he would have had guys like Frank Isola eating out of the palm of his hand. He would have quashed some of that New York constant media anger just by his Steve Kerr-ness, and that alone could have changed just the temperature of the room enough to just change the room. It would be fascinating. I don't think that you can say it would have absolutely killed him instantly. There was no hope.
No, I'll tell you why I can't say that.
Because a guy like, Van Gundy, he had a level of success with the Knicks. A guy like Pat Riley had a level of success with the Knicks. So,
but it was short-lived because he found that Dolan was not only meddlesome, but wasn't willing to listen to other people. And two, don't forget, Phil Jackson did not last very long in New York for the very same reason. You cannot make a bad owner into a good one.
I agree with you.
And if you have a bad owner, you don't get to win.
But you also yesterday just said that owners aren't responsible for winning. So which is it?
Well, no, but they are responsible. They can be very responsible for losing.
They set the tone for the entire organization.
They can be very responsible for losing. They can get in the way of every good intention. The Warriors win. Joe Lacob is part of that, but he's not the reason they win. He could be the reason they lose if he wanted to be Jimmy Dolan. That's my point.
His commitment financially is a big part of the reason why
his commitment financially is part of it. I just said you got to cover all the checks, you got to hire the right people, and you got to get out of the way. The Knicks will spend, but they don't get out of the way and they don't hire the right people.
Damon, where's your rabbi from Ernie and Concord? By the way, I still email the Beverly Hills rabbi, and he is now the Teaneck rabbi in New Jersey. He lives with his family, so it's nice. By the way, we're brought to you by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. When we come on back, we're going to do some thinking. You've all been warned.
At BMW of Fairfield, our guests work with one client advisor through the entire transaction. No handoffs to multiple car salesmen. No waiting for a finance manager to take you to a back room. Client advisors at BMW of Fairfield are thoroughly trained in every aspect of the process, so they can lead you efficiently and effectively through the purchase from start to finish. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to male enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Alice at 97.3 is celebrating the return of Alice in Winterland. Friday, December 2nd at the SAP Center in San Jose. Starring John Mayer. One Republic.
See you at Alice in Winterland.
Matt Nathanson. Plus more to be added. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get everything Alice in Winterland at radioalice.com.
That's the sound of a crack in the ceiling found at a home inspection. But with a Realtor by your side, a newfound leak might only cause minor worries. With their expertise, a Realtor can suggest a credit at closing and even connect you to a contractor to help you shore up that leak and alleviate your worries. When it comes to cracks in your plans, the expertise of a Realtor can make all the difference. The difference between an agent and a Realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that Auto Trader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with Auto Trader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on Auto Trader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. After Halloween, your used jack-o'-lantern and other gourds are great additions to any compost pile. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Here's what happened today on The Game. Presented by the County of Santa Clara. The Morning Roast from 6 to 9.
Think about Andy Reid and what we think about Kyle Shanahan now. If Shanahan wins that Super Bowl, there is no talk about Shanahan moving on.
Willard and Dibbs from 9 to noon.
The Warriors aren't over this. They are so very firmly and clearly not over this.
Steiny and Guru from noon to 3.
The fact that Harbaugh played quarterback in the NFL gives him a natural advantage to develop a quarterback ahead of a guy like Kyle Shanahan, who was a wide receiver in college, and that's it.
And Damon and Ratto from 3 to 6.
Bears are on your Monday night schedule this week.
Can we get that game flexed out of the country? I mean, I'd swap that baby out for a CFL game.
The best of the game, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at sccfreevax.org or call 211. Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
So you go ahead and you text the word Warriors to 20357. You hit the subscribe button, and everything that we do is Warriors related. It goes right there, including the Steve Kerr interview that we just did. And by the way, that is part of the best of 95.7 The Game today, coming up in just a moment here at 6 o'clock. Our conversation earlier with Samson Ebukam is also there. We had Michael Zagaris, great sports photographer, on with us for a really, really interesting conversation all the way back in our first hour. You can find it all on the Odyssey app. And thanks so much to those three guests for joining us today. Ray, you didn't make any of them angry, so congratulations. It's a win.
It's early yet.
It is very early in the season. We have a little thinking, I've been told, that we dare do this Thursday afternoon. It's ridiculous. No wonder why the prime minister didn't work out over there. She probably heard that and was like, I quit.
If only it were that easy.
Congrats on the baby, Spadoni, by the way.
Congrats. Is that I always thought that was Kyle.
No, that's Spadoni. It's hard to tell. It's such a great accent.
I honestly thought it was someone directly from Sussex. Anyway, what do we... What did Sussex? That's in England, right?
No, it is.
That right?
No. I wasn't mocking you. It's just the idea that anybody has ever spoken with that accent, because that's not a discernible accent that comes from anywhere in England.
It comes from Spadoni Land,
which I believe is a small asteroid that orbits the Earth in an irregular circle.
All orbits are irregular, technically, right? Anyway, let's go ahead. There is no perfectly circular orbit. What are you, a pig?
I mean, the Astros mascot's pretty circular. His name's Orbit.
You know what? I think you might have just jinxed the Houston Astros.
Unbelievable.
Put a lot of money on the Yankees.
That mascot.
Oh no! Wait a minute. It's
really good right there.
It is very nice.
Thank you.
3-0, by the way. Orbit. So the Astros are in head.
Put the Yankees with runners at second and third and nobody out.
Right. You're not allowed to do play-by-play. It violates the name, image, and likeness.
Well, the following people can bite me. The
There you
Houston
go.
Astros, the New York Yankees, Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball, and TBS.
On that note, Lucas, what are we thinking about?
On the subject of Christian McCaffrey, Tim Kawakami, Ray's guy, wrote today. Here's a little passage. I'm going to do a little reading in this segment for you.
Uh-oh.
I checked around a bit. This is, again, Tim Kawakami, The Athletic. I checked around a bit. I think there's little doubt that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are intrigued by the idea of acquiring McCaffrey to electrify a 49ers offense that is not exactly lighting up the scoreboard or statistical categories to start this season. And I think McCaffrey's camp is probably quite interested in the possibility, too. What do you think about that?
All in. Yeah, I mean, I would rather have what's left of Christian McCaffrey than whatever might be produced by the draft pick you'd have to trade for him. I would absolutely be interested. I think he would be fascinating in Kyle's offense. It would open things up that no current running back on this team, Elijah Mitchell included, could possibly open it up. You're adding a running back and a wide receiver that is a running back first, wide receiver second, unlike Deebo Samuel. I think it would be fascinating. Yes on Christian McCaffrey.
Let me be the downer. What are you giving up for him? It's going to be more than a draft choice. By the way, they don't have many draft choices of any quality to give.
Well, that's the thing. So you're going in the future. We're starting with a 2. Starting with a 2 and a 4. I mean, here's the thing. Players always get less in return than I expect. Like, that's the one thing that seems to be I'm bad at guesstimating on. Like, I'll tell you that, for that guy, you're going to have to give up 4 draft picks, and it turned up you only gave up 2.
I have heard that the asking price is a first rounder.
So a first rounder in 2024 would be the next available first rounder, right? Because this year's first rounder has already been
boomed out.
Exactly, for Trey. So here's the deal. If given his salary and injury history, if the Carolina Panthers can get any team in football to cough up a first rounder for Christian McCaffrey, I would suggest they do so. I don't think that offer is waiting for them anywhere. And that's a game of chicken that I would play.
I think there is somebody out there who would do that for that guy. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is an elite running back because of the things that he can do as a pass catcher. So I think he's priced out of the 49ers' immediate resource list. I don't think they have enough to get him.
Somebody said, don't forget his dad, Ed McCaffrey, played for the Niners. I mean, he had a cup of coffee with the Niners, but to me, he's a Bronco.
Well, that's great if he's trading for Ed McCaffrey.
Right, but here's the deal. Ed McCaffrey is literally Kyle Shanahan's spirit animal. When Ed McCaffrey was in Denver, Shanahan Sr. was coaching that team. Kyle was around them all the time. He would go on to wear Christian McCaffrey's number in the cup of coffee that he got at Texas. Kyle Shanahan sweats the McCaffrey family. He's got a lot of respect for him. So maybe, just maybe, that would be the reason to go all in with a future first rounder. But if I'm the Panthers, honestly, how about this? If I can get a first rounder in the next draft, that would sound a lot better to me than a first rounder 2 drafts from now. So that would certainly price the Niners out.
Yeah, no, my point is not that Kyle Shanahan would want Christian McCaffrey and would use everything he could to get him. It's that the Carolina Panthers, they just fired their coach. They just fired their general manager. And their new guy is not going to say, I'll give up one of my best assets for a draft pick down the road. I don't see how that makes any sense for Carolina at all.
Unless they're just stripping it all down, rebuild. I mean, there are different ways to go about this, trying to hang on to what you got, or just admitting, hey, we don't got enough, and we're gonna tear it down to the studs and start over.
Yeah, but if you're going to tear it down to the studs, you don't give away your best asset for a future pick. You get one right now.
Right, and that's
my point.
That would hurt. So there you go. I think we have officially covered it all today. What an outstanding broadcast this truly was. Hopefully, I don't have another transformer going out in my neighborhood tonight, and I can go full clicker central. Hey, we got a tie NBA game, 55-all, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, so that'll be mid-fourth quarter by the time I get home. Hey, the Yankees brought 2 home. It's 3-2 Houston right now. That game's in the top of the 4th, so we got playoff baseball. We have the NBA back on. And if you'd like to burn your eyes out, Thursday Night Football on Amazon. So enjoy, everyone.
Sports Equinox. You got everything going on today. NHL, Sharks playing right now. You also have college football.
Christian McCaffrey for Draymond Green is the proposed trade here coming from the 510. That probably doesn't get it done. But thank you for suggesting that. And thank you to all of our guests today, Lucas, Grandy, Ratto. Great stuff from all of you. I'm Damon. Good night. Sports don't build character. They reveal it.
And like that, he's gone.